didn't tell nobody I'm going live. Let's see how many people get notified. This is a test. If people tune in, I'll go ahead and go live. If no one tunes in, I know I have to notify everyone, innit? You know how it is with the algorithms. You know how it is in YouTube. The enemy number one and all that. They don't want us out there. I bet there's a big fat fucker now behind one of the monitors that's supposed to censor my page. Main people in them are like, yo, YouTube never notify me. I have to send my lives to them, which is a bit bullshit. That means they definitely don't want this shit out. So I thought, let me try a little thing and see if people can like follow the signal and tune in. If they tune in, I'll go ahead and bust a live, innit? Because the jig is up. The process is starting. Remember what I said? It's a process. It's not an instant. So I'm just gonna get them. But let's see. 3 people, shout out to all 3 people. I think I have an idea of who you are. But yes, man, we got to keep the fire burning and we got to develop the consistency that people can take from. I definitely feel like the Jig Is Up, like all this fake narrative business that's been going on, like there's something more at hand, and I want to speak a bit about it, of what I think is going on behind the scenes. That's why they're doing this shit right now. Because all of them can't be just turning away from the narrative at the same time. Just the same way as when this thing started, all the countries were following each other. Now that Boris the Bimbo Johnson has reversed all these restrictions, all of the others are following him. Like Biden and everywhere else is reversing the shit. Yeah, so something's definitely at play here, and I want to speak a bit on it because from the little conversation as I've had today with my mother and other people in my circle, it made me realise, you know what, that's for real. That's what I think is going on. That being said, whoever's here, I'm glad you joined us. She, the DTs, nothing exists except by whether he, she. I want to speak about the Jig Is Up. Yeah, I really think when we're talking about all that timelines and technology and how they've seen their end and how they've seen how it's all going to crumble for them and what's going to happen, and we were speaking about Operation Looking Glass. I was also speaking about how they can only see up to a certain point to like 2012. And they couldn't see past 2012. They couldn't manipulate anything past or move the goalposts or nothing. All of their manipulations resulted in the same result. It doesn't change the result. They're going to get dealt with. Yeah? And so what we got to understand now is that they discovered they can't control consciousness. They can control all the moving parts in this physical shit. Yeah? Everything except for consciousness. So they can't put that into their model. They can't predict it or none of that type of shit there. You understand? So now they've realized they cannot control the awakening. They can't stop people from awakening, from having that self-realization. They can control the media and the information that's coming through the media. But the expansion of consciousness has got nothing to do with the media. The expansion of consciousness is from outside of the media. The expansion of consciousness comes from the conscious universe, the mental universe, and through the suns with the light come down and stuff. And they can't control that. Yeah. So as you can see now with the light code download, you see how they're launching up all these suns, and they're speaking about Bill Gates who wants to try and block out the rays of the sun. This is linking to what I'm telling you about how these light codes and downloads that are coming from the sun, it's coming from the electromagnetic spectrum. Yeah, which is kind of like the library of consciousnesses. So in each sun, in each solar system, all the souls that occupy that solar system are harbored in that sun. So it comes from the sun. Your personality and character. That's why they call it solar signs or star signs. It comes it comes through the sun, and that's why we venerated the sun or the light in that way, because consciousness is light. You understand what I'm saying? So they want to block your light downloads, and it started heavy in 2020 when the Schumann resonances went way off the scale. Yeah, and a lot of us started having these realizations, whether it was due to the George Floyd racism, BLM stuff, or whether it was to do with the scamdemic. A lot of people were having that moment with themselves, man. We're seeing the planet just shut down in the way that it did. Do you understand? And so, remember what I said, they can't control consciousness. So, they are panicking. And even though they come on TV and they look all smug with their faces and they look like nothing's going on, you got to remember all these characters dressed up in politician suits and that, they're actors, man. They're actors on the stage. They're supposed to look like nothing's bothering them and stuff. They're trying to fool you. Yeah, when they come off that camera, they're in a panic. Yeah, when it comes to politics and religious leaders and media and all of that type of stuff, because they can't control the awakening. They can't stop it. Even if you've seen how heavy they've gone with the shadow banning and the censorship and the restrictions, they still can't control it. Even though they're doing all that, we've had more censorship in the last 2 years than the whole time social media's been active. Well, that's not going to have no effect on the expansion of consciousness. So all of that social media stuff with the censorship and the fact checkers and all that, that's how desperate this is for them. As I said, it's centered around the awakening and the expansion of consciousness. They must stop certain people like myself from giving other people certain light, because that shit's more contagious than the pestilence. So that's what they're scared of. They're not scared of the virus. They're scared that I might contaminate someone with what I'm saying, and my aura will affect their aura if we intermingle. So they want you to keep social distance from people like me, because people like me are going to make you start questioning your reality at a time when consciousness is expanding. 50 years ago, they didn't have to worry about that shit, because consciousness is not in that expansive moment. So a lot of people weren't even privy to certain information. They didn't even want to look at it. They don't even have the urge to want to know things or to find out. But now it's different. Everybody wants deeper answers. Everybody wants real answers. Everybody's looking for a deeper meaning. So therefore, people like us, who are going to speak life into people and give them eyes to see through this illusion, they have to create some kind of false scenario so that people can keep their distance from people like me and you. Do you really think this is about some medical thing? Some you understand, that's no stronger than the flu, seasonal flu? You really think all this shit that went down in the world is because of that? Or do you think it's because in 2018, this awakening was already snowballing? We were snowballing into 2019, and then when 2020 came, it's too much. It's like, yo, we have to stop this. This is contagious. Everyone's waking up. Everyone's thinking about fake history and black history and colonialism and racism and Illuminati and reptilians, aliens, the whole shit. Listen, they can't function like that. They need their secrecy. They need the majority of people to not be speaking about that shit or even have any knowledge about that type of shit. They can't operate once the curtain's been pulled up. You understand? Once we're having the unveiling, the removal of the veil. So what you're seeing now in society is desperate measures from politicians and multinational corporations and media, mass media, and royal families. It's not just the British royal families, loads of them, the Arabian ones, all of them. Do you understand? All of these people are now desperate to keep the control grip that they had on us by just milking us for everything we have. You understand what I'm saying? A new race of humans, yeah, is about to emerge on the planet Earth. And when I say race, yeah, a new species of humans, yeah, who see beyond race. They're not even operating on race no more. It's not a physicality thing for them no more. And they're gonna come from all walks of life, all angles, yeah. People are going to be coming at these demons from all angles, all races, all religions, all demographics of society. It's going to be like a rainbow coalition coming from everywhere at the same time. That process has already begun. It's already begun to snowball right now, where humans will start seeing the similarities in themselves rather than the differences and start unifying together. You understand what I'm saying? And saying, yo, we got to change what's happening in the world, and we got to stand up and speak out against it. We can't sit down no more. This is where it's going to very fast. You hear them saying now, Joe Biden mentioned it, how the media is losing viewers. Nobody don't want to watch that shit. We've been speaking about it for a while, but nobody don't want to watch the mainstream media because old belief systems are collapsing. Whether it's political, whether it's religious, old belief systems are collapsing. Christian belief systems, Muslim belief systems, scientific belief systems, historical belief systems, all of these belief systems, which is a control structure on our consciousness for us to think a certain kind of way, is set up in this way deliberately. All of that shit is collapsing, the whole infrastructure of this control group. Now in Coronation Agenda 21, this academic, we expose you guys to our view on what this pestilence was, and we call it the crown virus, and we centered it on the word corona and how the sun has a corona, and on top of your head, your crown is called the corona. When the sun goes into eclipse, that halo around the sun, around the edge of the eclipse, is called the corona. So it's to do with light, it's to do with your head, your crown chakra, your consciousness. Do you understand? So as I said, the real virus was the awakening, and they had to come up with some synthetic shit to make an excuse to put us all into lockdown so we can't get these light codes from the sun. They had to make an excuse so you would keep your distance from other humans, because humans are now contagious to each other in this expansion of consciousness. This shit's like a virus. So if you go around certain type of human, yeah, and your aura intermingles with their aura, you're likely to have transference of information, and because of the expansion of consciousness, you're going to be more open to anything new that you might hear, or anything that might be considered a conspiracy theory. You're more willing now, since this lockdown thing's began, to go and have a look at that for yourself. You got the time to look at it for yourself. You probably bored at home. Now certain things that you wanted to look at for so long, but you never had the time, you've now got the time, or you can make time fit it in, so you can have a snoop of that yourself. And that's a problem for these people right now, because like I said, the veil has been removed and the consciousness is expanding, and you've got a new collective of humans who are seeing beyond race, beyond religion, beyond physicality, beyond all of that political bullshit, all isms and schisms. Yeah, and this crown virus, yeah, is a virus of consciousness, meaning this messed up, brainwashed paradigm that we have, that we've been given from modern society. A virus is now, it's like a virus is now attacking that false narrative. You understand? So they come up with their own virus, so they can give us all these restrictions, so that the real crown virus that's supposed to liberate us, crown us, give us back our crown as sovereign beings, yeah, they can now say, oh, there's a virus about it's killing people, you have to lock down restrictions. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, the crown virus, or the Wuhan virus, the Wuhan 400, is an awakening of consciousness. Yeah, that synthetic shit that runs alongside it, they created that shit, they manipulated that shit for their devil reset, to have something to use as an excuse to stop us all from contaminating each other with the awakening. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah, that pestilence, what they create, that synthetic, there's nothing natural about that. You understand? And that, as I said, if you stick to the book of Revelation, you can chart where we are on that timeline. We're going into, I told you, just past 13:16 with the mark of the beast, yeah? But it also relates to Matthew 24, when we were saying on the last slide, wars and rumors of wars and pestilence and famine and nation against nation. We're in that time right now, yeah? But together with that, what you will see is a system failure. And that's why that war and these rumors of war are happening, because all the infrastructure that's kept them in power all over this globe, I shouldn't say globe, all over this plane, yeah, is collapsing. That means people are losing out on money and stuff. If Russia, the pipeline gets mashed up in Russia, they miss out on like 50 billion. That's a big deal for them. They've been surviving on stealing our money and our resources for so long. They're used to it. Now all the infrastructure's falling. They're all blaming each other. They don't want to lose out on the money. Do you understand what I'm saying? And that stability and control what they've had for so long. It's a system failure that's leading to nations falling out and accusing each other and throwing each other under the bus and shit, which is going to lead into this Armageddon. You understand? Housing market. The housing market's propped up the US economy and the UK economy and Canada and other different places by raping the people just for us to have somewhere to live. Most people can't even afford to buy a fucking house. Can't even afford to buy somewhere to live. Yeah? Most first-time buyers, like young buyers in the UK, they have to save for like 10 years before they can put that deposit down on that house and shit. So all of these industries are falling. The banks are falling. Yeah? The commerce, the supply chain, another weapon that they've used against the people, where you don't do no commerce, they do all your commerce for you. Yeah, this is how nullified people become. Yeah, now we're seeing the breakdown in the supply chain. Yeah, we've already mentioned the mainstream media, national news, how the figures are lower than ever for BBC and CNN and certain different mainstream big corporations. It's been announced here by Boris and his government trying to save themselves, talking about in 2 years they're no longer going to renew the BBC. Like, the BBC is basically finished. It's a walking dead because the people have had enough. Just like in America, there was like defunding news. Over here, we've been like defunding the BBC, which has worked because it's now been announced that, you know what, the BBC is not going to continue how it is, and we're going to, basically they're saying, yo, that's dead. And the same thing's going to happen to all of them major news corporations. The numbers are down. The fact that you got Biden, the president, mentioning the numbers of viewers in the media should tell you. Presidents don't speak about that type of shit. You understand? But the fact that he mentioned it, like, bastard, it's not just me who's losing in this. The mainstream media is losing viewers as well. And remember, this is not just starting now. This has been going on for a long time. It peaked in 2020 and 2021 with the pandemic thing, where people just started seeing through the bullshit. You understand? So all of these infrastructures that keep this control afloat, yeah, are crumbling, yeah, because they're all fraudsters. They're all in on the shit. All the people who work in the housing market at the top, they're in on the scamming us just to have somewhere to live. All the people who run the banks, the people in the central bank and the Federal Reserve, and all the top brass people, they're in on the scam. Yeah, all the people who deal with commerce and supplying shops and all of that, they're in on this shit. The big bosses of Tesco, all of them niggas is in on this shit. Yeah? All your national news corporations, we spoke about them before and linked them to the Reuters organization. They're all fraudsters. Your newspapers, lifestyle and fashion magazines that want to tell you the lifestyle you should have, or the lifestyle that society values, and you'll be looked up to if you wear this clothes or if you drive this car. All of that shit's gone. Yeah, people ain't buying that shit no more. People don't want newspapers, they don't want lifestyle, fashion magazines, and all of that shit there. The industry of it. I'm not saying that nobody's living life right now, because I want to admit, don't get me wrong, more people than ever are choosing to live their life and feel fulfilled, but not in a kind of regimented, corporate way. They're doing it on themselves. Like, one man might say, yo, I'm buying that Harley Davidson motorbike because the world's fucked. I might not be able to enjoy much more of this, so I might as well just buy that motorbike now. Don't get me wrong, there are people who are enjoying themselves, who should be. I want to encourage you, like I want to shout out to Olivia, you know, Empress Lotus, because after last night's Book of Revelation, like, me and her had a little back and forth, and she was like, yeah, it's all good. There's so much doom and gloom, so much people are talking about just the doom and gloom aspects of this awakening. It's all fucking dark and shadow and world war and death and blood and aliens, and you understand what I'm saying? And I had to say to her, you know what, that's a fair point, because it's a point I've made before. It's so easy to lose track of when you're going through this information. And I y'all to understand. I'm not trying to be out here to be a doomsday prophet and fuel the anxiety and fuel the fear. Nathan is right. You understand what I'm saying? Now is the time for us to be celebrating and having gratitude, waking up in gratitude for seeing blasted that this shit's for real. Change has come and the process has been initiated and the shit's coming in fast. We just have to be in gratitude and be open to receive the changes, what's going on within us and around us. You understand? So we can align with the will of the universe. You understand? So I want to shout out Alethea for reminding me to put that into this life. It's not about being a doomsday prophet. We've got nothing in. All they seem to do is speak about the problem, never the solution. All they seem to do is speak about the shadow side and the darkness of it, rather than the light and the liberation and the freedom that we can get after coming through this birth pain. See what I'm saying? It's a time for gratitude, a time for compassion. Carry compassion for other human beings. Think about other people, not just yourself. It's a time for celebration. It's a time for love. I'm not talking about just jumping in relationships and stuff. You've got to be very careful about that right now. In the time that we're in. If you're single, you want to stay single for a period until we got some kind of stability back in the schedule and how things are running in the world. You understand what I'm saying? And also it's a retrograde, so it's not a good time to make any critical choices like that. You might as well wait till the retrograde is past. Yeah? And I want us to think the prize in all of this, yeah, is the removal of the devil. Everything that represents evil and injustice that is running in our realm is going to be removed. And we'll have 1,000 years of peace. 100 years is a long time, 50 years is a long time. We'll have 1,000 years of peace before we even argue about shit. People will be turning their weapons into agricultural tools and stuff if we're going by the timeline. It says each man and woman, instead of having shotguns and swords and spears and shit, we'll turn that shit into some kind of agricultural thing where we can grow food. We ain't got no time for war. Ain't nobody got no time for that shit. You see what I'm saying? Guys, I'm just talking, yeah. I just took these notes because Alethea sparked my mind, and then I was having conversations with my mum and stuff. You can't hear me. Hold on. Can you hear me now? Let me know you can hear me, yeah? Sorry about that. Yeah, so just keep in mind, man, that you see all these titles that people have, that certain positions have, like, okay, brilliant. Like, hold on. Yeah, all these positions people have, like CEO, politician, governor, senator. You need to take off all them titles and replace that shit with career criminal or serial killer or psychopath or mafia, yeah, or cartel, yeah, or curse seed. These, all of them titles that politicians and shit are using is false. It's just to hide the fact that you're dealing with a liar. You're dealing with a devil. And that's why in John 8:44, when Joshua was supposed to have said to one of them, he said, listen, your father was a liar and you're a liar, just like your father. And you're speaking to a certain group, bloodline of people, the same demiurge that is in control now. You understand what I'm saying? They're liars and they're hiding behind titles. And it's them who are being spoken of in Genesis 9:25 when it's speaking about the cursed seed, the cursed bloodlines, the 11 tribes of Canaan. Yeah? All of them stuff like mortgages, yeah? There's a rip-off. They ain't got no right. You shouldn't be paying all that money to live somewhere. Any debt, nobody has no right to demand money from you if you ain't killed no one. You understand what I'm saying? Or you ain't broke. Common law. Not no maritime law, no colonizers law. You don't have to pay no fines. And you know why? Especially since all of this pandemic stuff, and because the world is unrecognizable. We're not even in the same world. None of that shit sticks no more. Like student debts and fines and mortgages, parking tickets. We don't know this, you know. We're still paying this shit like we got money because we're so ignorant. We're not, you understand? We don't understand how this realm works and how quick things can change and what it means and what certain little wordings mean and shit. Yeah, but none of that stuff, they can't hold none of that shit over you no more. No mortgages, no debts, no fines, no parking tickets. All that shit's a myth. The world is now unrecognizable. Yeah, more so than when we came out 9/11 and they passed all of these acts and legislation and mandates and shit under the terrorism bill, whatever they call this shit, the war against terror. You understand? And change the world. Yeah, change the world. If you was around and grown at the time of the 9/11, you would know right now that, yo, the world completely changed after 9/11. It's like we're on two different planets. And now it's even worse. What they've did in the space of these 2 years, yeah, by having these mandates, acts, mandates. Remember, just like that, I posted a video into my forum, and it was a judge. I forgot his name, but he's that well-known judge. And he's the one who's been speaking out for the whole pandemic about law and maritime law and all of this skullduggery stuff. You understand? So I'm pulling from a lot of what I learned from him over the last 2 years, especially the video that I posted today. Do you understand? And he was talking about how they're called acts for a reason. Like if one politician passes an act, it's because he's an actor. See, I never even made that link for myself between act and actor. Oh, this is the Biden act, or this act. Every one of them motherfuckers is actors. They're all actors, yeah? And some of them even have more than one person acting that character. So Biden might have four different, I'm not even gonna say humans, four different somebodies, yeah, playing Biden. So one day he might look a bit funny, like his jaw looks a bit wide or some shit, and you're like, hold on, this guy looks a bit offish today. And then the next day, when you can see it more clearly with Boris, they got about 3 Borises. And you can see, hold on, this is that fucking this Boris, and this is that Boris, and this, yo, they even got it with Trump. The blue tie Trump and the red tie Trump, and there's Dick Gregory was the first to confirm me on that. When I was telling that to people, they were like, this nigga definitely crazy. And then when Dick Gregory said it before he died, he says, yo, there's 2 Trumps. There's a good cop and a bad cop. I was like, yes, hallelujah. Rest in peace, Dick Gregory. These, and the same goes for your celebrities in Hollywood. Sometimes it's more than one person playing that character, and they switch them up. Yeah, maybe it's the fail-safe. If one guy stops playing ball or whatever, they got more of them. They used to do it with wrestling, WWF. Ultimate Warrior would have about 6 different versions of him. Or Macho Man's got about 3 different versions of him. These are tried and tested Dionysian formulas that they use as Janus. Yeah, double-headed people. These are criminals by blood. These are seasoned, well-trained psychopaths. Guys, I know I said I'm not going to smoke on camera no more, yeah? But I'm at home, in my room, yeah, minding my business, so I'm a smoke, yeah? It's 2022, weed is legal in half these fucking countries. I'm in the wrong country, yeah? So yeah, they're actors, man, that are pushing these acts and mandates, yeah? And it goes back to the same stuff we broke down for you in previous lives about the Dionysian doctrine of the Caucasian Greeks and the Romans, yeah? Romans call him Janus, yeah? Where he's got the 2 heads, where they deal with a lot of media, drama, plays, music, acting, to distract the public, to distract their prey. So they do that for you. All this Hollywood shit, music industry shit, something else is going on behind the scene. That's for you. That's to attract your attention. So you're not looking behind you as to what the fuck they're doing behind you. So all that shit comes from a Dionysian doctrine. Angelina Jolie, all of them, Brad Pitts, they're heavy into this shit. They know how to mess with people through magic, through screen magic, the manipulation of the media, Dionysian doctrine, Dionysian culture, yeah? And I wanted to say as well to the American people, yeah? The American Constitution is unique to the world. You know why? Because the USA Constitution was designed for the people to protect the people. It wasn't designed to protect the government, whereas most other constitutions is more on the side of the government. But the American Constitution was the other way around, and it wasn't just for American citizens, because they already knew America was going to become a world government and be the kind of like guardian of the world. So in that American Constitution, if you study it, it was written and it says any human being. So it's not even just American citizens, world citizens, any human being has inalienable rights for the pursuit of happiness and all of that shit there. It was talking about the whole world. And that was designed by the people and the original governments of America, because they knew a time will come when we're going to have to fall back on this and we're going to have to rag that government out of the fucking seats, man. You understand? But many of us are still prepared to just sit this out and sit at home and hope for the best and hope that the world goes back to some semblance of its old form, and so you can just continue living your mundane existence, generally speaking. Do you see what I'm saying? The American Constitution was created by the people for the people, not no fucking government. And the government's supposed to work for the people. But what's happened now, when you're dealing with Washington, Washington isn't even part of America. The United States as a corporation, they only run Washington. They're only relevant in Washington. Outside of the District of Columbia, they're not even relevant. And let me break down that word Washington for you, even though they say it comes from the Native American black tribe, the Washita tribes, or the Yamasee. But the word Washita sounds like Washington. But really, on the other side of the coin, when you say Washington, yeah, you're really saying Wah Shaitan or Wah Satan. When you say Wah Shaitan, yeah, in the original Arabic, Wah and Shaitan, Satan. So and the Satan and Satan. So when you're dealing with Washington, you're dealing with Satan. That's why they got a pentagram right bang in the middle of that bastard, yeah, and tell you it's called a pentagon. That's how dumb we are, that we can't even fucking understand. Bastard, we're in a fucking... The devil really is running this bitch. Do you understand? And the devil, Washington, Washington, and right there you got the pentagon. Do you understand what I'm saying? That's your fucking... That's what's running America. And that's why they're trying to do away with the Constitution, because they're not the ones that created that Constitution. They're the force that came and took over America and turned it into a corporation. There's no shortage of anything on the planet Earth. All this stuff about carbon footprint and climate change and shortage of food and shortage of energy, there's not enough electric, there's not enough petrol, there's not enough nothing. Soon they're gonna tell you there's not enough air. All of that shit is a scam. There's enough for everything for everyone. But when they're telling you that there's a shortage, it's because if they continue to rape the planet Earth and rape the money and rape the resources in the way they're doing it, with the greed and stuff, then yeah, there's a shortage. They can't, that's not sustainable. That's why they're coming with this new plan, sustainable development. They're like, okay, we're not going to be able to just take all the oil from the planet Earth no more. We're going to run out of oil. If we keep doing it like the way we're doing it, to build car after car after car after car after car, how much cars get built a year? Which countries build cars? Cars pollute the planet. So therefore, how can you penalize a poor community in Africa with so carbon footprint is like 10, maybe 15 times more higher than that person in Somalia, or that person in India, or that person in Romania for that matter? So certain countries are responsible for mashing up this planet, but they want to penalize everybody else for what they did. That's what climate change is. Ain't nobody saying, okay, let's stop making cars. Look how much second-hand cars we have and cars that get scrapped. There's so much cars in the world, we don't even have to make another car. All we do is just, the cars that are not too battered, we just recondition them. Yeah, and we'll just start using all these cars that are not being used. You know how much cars don't sell? Like they've got brand new Range Rovers just parked up. Oh, these didn't sell when they came out in 2012. Like only 5,000 of them sell. So now we've got these 100,000. You can get them half price, yeah, because they're the old model and it never sold. Do you know how much cars there are on the planet? And there's not one person on the planet saying, hold on, carbon footprint, see it there then. Let's stop making all these fucking cars. We got horses, we got all types of shit. So I'm saying logical thinking in this revelation, these days of revelation, is gone. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's finished. These politicians are going to climate change meetings, flying on big gas guzzling fucking jumbo jets that are letting out how much tons of pollution just to get into this fucking G8 or G7 or whatever. Do you see what I'm saying? It's a scam. The whole thing's a scam. Yeah, there's no shortage of nothing. There's no climate change or none of that shit there. You understand what I'm saying? All of that is another cause for it. It's not what they're telling you it is. I'm not saying nothing's going on. The planet's not heating up. The ice caps are not melting. Of course they are. But it's not what they're saying. Is it still too loud? It's not what they're saying, man. Let me turn it off here. Yeah? It's not what they're saying. It's something totally different. Yeah? And I want to say this as well. You see like how we look at all the ailments in our modern society. You can hear me now, yeah? You see how you see all the ailments in our modern society, like, let's call some out. Flu, measles, tuberculosis, cholera, malaria, rickets, rubella, HIV, H1N1 and all the shit that comes from that, SARS, bird flu, foot and mouth, fucking Zika virus, coronavirus, all of these different fucking ailments, yeah? I want you guys to understand this. This is another thing nobody's talking about. Remember, if we go back to the theory of everything live, we were speaking about causation and how in this world they teach us action, reaction, cause and effect. But really, that's wrong. It's not action, reaction, cause and effect. You can't have an action without a cause. So therefore, action can't be the first one. Do you understand? How can you have action, reaction, cause and effect? Something has to create that action. The action don't just happen for no reason. So there has to be a causation. So really, the formula is causation, the first cause. What's the first cause that made that action? Reaction, cause, and effect. So cause is two, because there's a first cause, the causation that caused the whole fucking thing. And then after action, reaction, there's another cause. Do you understand? But they don't give us that. And the reason I say that to say this, yeah, we speak about corona and all of this stuff and wonton soup juxing, you know what I mean, having the jux, yeah, the vacation, yeah, and nobody ain't saying, all of them are saying, okay, where did it start? Did it come from the Wuhan thing, the market, the wet animal market, or was it natural? Nobody's asking why. Why is this come? And you can go back to every one of these things from the first one, whatever one it was, measles or whatever. Yeah. Why has this happened? Yeah. What's the causation of this? Forget where it started, whether it was in an animal market or whether it was in somebody's fucking attic. Yeah. Why? What is the cause of this? Nobody's asking that. You know why? They don't want you to ask that. Because it goes back to what I've been saying for a long time when I say modern society, we don't have ways of life. Like they say, okay, Islam is a way of life and this is a way of life and Rasta is a way of life and we have ways of death. Everything we do here is to a certain amount sin. Me sitting here smoking this weed is a sin. But in this mental world that's been turned upside down, yeah, all of us have got vices. All of us have got flaws that we're gonna have to face. We're gonna have to combat that shit. Because in a perfect world, none of that it's not natural. So therefore, again, I say that to say, when you're speaking about the Rona and all of that stuff there, yeah, that's come about because of a lifestyle choice that this modern world has took. Remember, everything in this realm is choice, as we've said, and everything is perception. You understand what I'm saying? Everything is choice, and we've been convinced on certain things over and over again, certain bullshits. We've been convinced about this shit. Like most of the world has been convinced about this shit. You understand? So now we live in a certain way where The Anunnaki give us a certain set of laws and tell us certain things will fuck you up, like fornication and adultery and rape, and there's certain things that are just wrong. It's not going to be beneficial to us as a nation or as an individual. So it's gonna cause a certain set of consequences. Like the wages of sin is death. Yeah, the gift of the gods is eternal life. So if we're doing all this sinning, we got smoking, we got processed food, we got rape, we got child sex, we got fake medicine. It's all gonna have an effect, and it's all gonna show itself in some form. Like I said, with the crumbs. If I leave crumbs in my bedroom, rats are gonna come out. We're not gonna say, yo, where did the rats come from? What, did they come from the door? Or did they come from over there? Or did they come from over there? The first thing you're gonna say is, yo, why is rats in my room? You wanna know why? Why are you here, Mr. Rat? Because I never invited you. And if I did, I wasn't aware of the shit. So I'm gonna have to find out why you're here to get you out. But nobody ain't got this kind of thinking when it comes to this shit that's going on in the world. And I'm not just talking about this synthetic thing. I'm talking about every major thing in the world. It's like the logic's gone. Like the Bible says, yo, in the last days, wise men will be extinct. I sit down sometime and I think, bastard, am I the only person that's thinking in this way? I'm not, no diss to you guys watching. I'm talking person who's out here speaking. Is there no one else saying this shit? Because I feel like I'm the only one saying this shit. Do you understand? But it's causation. Yeah? And the cause of everything we're seeing today, you can go to Psalms 91, yeah, and read it. And when you're reading it, think about what I said about causation and falling away from the laws of the Anunnaki and the ways of the ancestors, and seeing what the world is resulted in. We've got everything to worry about, from this virus to that virus to fucking climate change to Ross Clark, somebody running up on you and shooting you, to rape, to defending your daughters and you understand, your missus, and yo, it's a madness down here. We are in hell. We already in hell. Do you understand? But we've got so used to it. Getting up every day out of your bed when you want to sleep. You don't even want to get up to go and work for some fucker else. Do you understand? 40 hours of your week. You understand? They tell you, yo, 8 hours a day. Yeah? Because they tell you there's 24 hours in a day. There ain't no 24 hours in a day. There's 12 hours in a day. After that, it turned to night. And there's 12 hours of night. But they can't tell you there's 12 hours a day. Because if they tell you there's only 12 hours in a day, yeah, you ain't going to give up 8 hours out of that 12 every day to go and work for someone else. I don't care how you're living. Yeah, you must be the most unfulfilled human in the planet if you can do that. If you can honestly say to yourself, you know what, I've got 12 hours a day. And every day out of that 12, I'm going to give the government and the corporations and everybody else 8 hours. Yeah? Half of us don't even give 1 hour to ourselves. But you give all these hours to government, religion, work, corporations, yeah? And then you come home and you ain't got no time for you. Sometimes you ask somebody, have you ate? Oh, I ain't had no time, you know. Yeah, I was working too hard, I had no time to eat. Yo, have you gone and visit some? Yo, I ain't even got no time to visit this person, you know. No time, I gotta go work. So your whole life, this is like 80% of this planet. 80% of this planet, friends, family, spouses, whoever, your whole life is geared towards you giving yourself to other than you. Do you understand? I don't care if I go broke writing books. Yeah, I'm giving time to me so I can feel fulfilled. Even if I fail to give myself an adequate life, at least I can say, yo, I was brave enough to try and break out the mold and do my own shit, man. We got enough ordinary out here. I need to do my own shit and feel fulfilled and build my own kingdom. Because I believe in me. I back me that I can fucking do it. So I'm going to give me the fucking time. Me. Do you understand? I'm going to be my educator. I'm going to be my teacher. I'm going to be my investor. I'm going to be my biggest fan. I'm going to be my biggest critic. The whole fucking shit. I'm going to work for me, and money's going to work for me. I'm not going to work for money. Like, these are the things we have to be confronting in ourselves. Do you understand? Because we're doing the same thing over and over, even though we're seeing all these changes happen around us, but we're trying to stick to the same comfort zone of, let me just go work, let me just find a job, let me just do this, and I'll just cruise through this. You ain't gonna cruise through this. And I'm not trying to make any of you feel bad for having a job or any of that type of stuff. I'm just trying to make you think about the longer term. Like, bastard, I need to get certain things in action. So 2-3 years down the line, I'm not still in this position here. You understand? I'm, you understand what I'm saying? And yo, you know what I'm getting at, right? I'm not trying to get at none of the viewers. I'm just trying to make a statement. Yeah. So yeah, they created all of them shits, man, because our lifestyle choices as a collective human society and what we were conned into, we allowed for certain consequences to be able to present themselves, just like the man or the woman who leave food in their house or in their kitchen and then are shocked because there's rats in there. You're not supposed to be shocked. We invited them. We invited this. Do you understand what I'm saying? So even with the narrative that they're telling of the Wuhan soup, the wonton soup, yeah, we should be thinking about causation. What the fuck caused this? Yeah, and I've just gave you the cause. It's the lifestyle choice that modern society has taken to go away from the ancient teachings and the ancient organic spirituality that was like a guardian for human experience. So we wouldn't. Do you think Egyptians had measles and mumps and cholera and HIV and had to wear condoms and all of that type shit? Yeah, and had flus and seasonal cold and corona and bird flu and foot flu or foot and mouth, Zika. They never had none of that shit there. You ain't never seen them draw no fucking hieroglyph with no baby with no small ass head and say, yo, this nigga here was born with a small ass head and we don't know what the fuck happened. We only get that now in our society because we've been convinced that we need this allopathic medicine. We need this wonton soup, these vacations. You need it for measles, you need it for flu, you need it for fucking every year you need this shit because the flu's coming. Yeah? And you need this shit for measles, and you need this shit for polio, and you need this shit here for when your baby's born. Oh, it's got jaundice. Yeah? We need to jab him with this. And yo, your baby's just born. We need to jab it with that. I was having none of it. None of my babies been jabbed with nothing when they was born. I was telling the nurse, try jab my baby, see if I don't jab you in your chin. You get me? None of them are getting nothing. And then my mum was the same with me and my brothers and sisters. She was like, I wasn't allowing the doctors to give y'all nothing. Nowadays, just if you've been in the experience seeing a newborn being born, how quick the doctors want to whack something into that baby. You have to have this. There's about 6 of them. I was like, yo, the only thing my daughter needs is a mum's titty. Everything in that titty, that's what she needs. She don't need none of your stuff. The woman tried to argue with me, a black woman, black nurse, black midwife. You understand? All of them things there is from lifestyle choices. This new narrative, the causation, is deeper than that because we know that because of their devil system, antichrist system we spoke about in the last live, talking about the days of revelation, and we was talking about the antichrist mentality and how there's more than one antichrist and how it's a mentality that's took over this realm, that's took over earth plane. It's because of that mentality that's now in all the seats of control, that's infiltrated all of the influential places, education, media, whatever. Do you understand? Because of that, yeah, antichrist system, that's why we can have things going on the way they are in the modern world. You understand? That's part of the causation, and that leads to when we say why, yeah, we put these people in a position like the NIAIH and then the CDC and the FDA and there's one for England, I can't remember what it's called, but we've got our own fucking ones in England that do the same thing. We empowered these people with our silent ignorance. You understand? Because nobody opposed it. They said, hold on, what do we need that for? FDA to tell us what drug and what? We don't need that. We the people who decide what we're gonna have. Like, when did it get to this? To have these small groups, yeah, these NGOs, they're not elected, they're not part of no democratic process or nothing, but they have all this power to tell us about all this stuff that affects us in such a severe way. Do you understand what I'm saying? We put them in a position where they can say, okay, humans, we're going to do gain of function. And don't nobody even question what the fuck is gain of function. Yeah? Everybody just gets something. Like I said, we just go work, pay bills, do whatever. We the sheep in the pasture. We're not the shepherds. You understand? We have to break out of this shit, man. Yeah? So they say, okay, we're going to do gain of function. Okay, what is gain of function? Okay, what it is taking a virus and making the virus worse just to see what would happen if the virus was worse. Like, if it was worse, we can know how to defend against it and train against. Who the hell thinks of that type of shit other than a devil or an antichrist system? You have to be of the antichrist mind to even contemplate that kind of shit there. Do you understand what I'm saying? But we're in a society that does that. It's not new. They've been doing it for time. Like I told you, all this stuff here, yeah, I don't want to say again because they'll just censor man, find a reason to censor man, but all of that stuff is created. They created that shit there, manipulated it through gain of function. We never had that shit there in the past world, before the 1800s, or before the Rockefellers and their allopathic medicine reformation in 1900s. We never had that shit in Sumeria, or the Olmec with the Olmecs, or the Mayans, or the Egyptians. None of them niggas never had none of this type of shit what's going on here, where they had to lock down the whole place. The only shit that was breaking out, that was called plague, was called leprosy in your ass, where your menelin don't fucking turn up, and you looking all blotchy and patchy because you got vitiligo, or you got albinism or leprosy. That was the fucking plague, or the pestilence, or you have a plague of locusts that come and yam off all the crops. That's what you hear about when you read into ancient cultures and shit. They never spoke about no seasonal flus, no snots running out your nose and none of this mucus and all of that shit there. You understand what I'm saying? Lifestyle choices. It's a consequence. The wages of sin is death. And we're living in a society of sin where every sin is legal. Most of the sins is not even illegal. You understand? It's not even illegal. The worst ones are. But most of the sins that this Bible or Quran or Torah or Mosaic law, or ancient laws, Ma'at, most of the stuff that we're told not to do, that shit's legal in the world. You ain't gonna get in trouble if you do it. Fair enough, the big ones like rape and all that shit, yeah. But fornication or sleeping with the next man's wife, or not all that type of shit, that shit's nothing. You don't even get a slap on the wrist for it. So we're in we're in a way of death, which comes with all of these consequences that we see around us in the form of fucking viruses and all of that shit. Excuse me. Can y'all still hear me, yeah? Yeah, all of this shit started really in the 1800s, and it peaked in the 1900s with Rockefeller's takeover of the medical thing, what we've already spoken about, and you can read more about in Combination Agenda 21, the Scamdemic, yeah, and COVID 1984. Two of our books published by TZT Publishing Group, yeah, and what was I going to say there? People got to understand what Westernism is and colonialism, because like I've said before, those words are used in a very polite way to hide some very dark details and truths that are still very relevant right now, yeah? But as I said, because we're programmed to be a silent majority, your silence is like participation. If you don't say nothing and speak out as a collective group of humans, where we're kind of like causing a critical mass of humans to counterpunch that way of thinking. Like if they just keep coming with these acts and mandates and certain kind of devilment, and we just sit there and stare and moan to each other, we're participating in our own fucking downfall. You understand? We're part of this destruction, and that's what we got to take responsibility for, that as human beings, all of us. Yeah, at times where we could have spoke out or did something, and we just take it, man. We just ignore it because we're programmed to do it. You understand what I'm saying? The silent majority is spectators. It's like the crowd sitting at a football game, oohing and ahhing. They are the sheep. And a lot of the time, we fall into that silent majority. You understand? And we got to do our utmost right now to separate ourselves from the silent majority. I'm not saying you got to go and make yourself a target. Yeah, of course, we're gods and goddesses. We box smart with the intellect. But I'm saying we got to start doing more, man, and pulling our weight. You know what I'm saying? Because the silent majority, they don't question nothing. They don't inquire of themselves or use their own initiative. They have to be told. Yeah, they won't speak out. So they're cowards. So it's like Obama said when they caught him on that recording, when he says, "Oh, we don't trust the people to make decisions for themselves because the people are dumb." Like, you have to understand, this goes back to Marxism and shit. When they had certain ideologies where they were like, you know what, the people can't govern themselves. They just came up with this shit one day. Yeah, they need to be governed. Yeah, we have to govern them. Because remember what the word govern means. Governing your mental. So mind control. Just like the word Eli meant. Yeah, which means El, the God, or Anu. Yeah, meant. So elements is the mind of God. Yeah, government is mind control, is controlling your mind and my mind. You see, we have to understand etymology and how words work and how word magic works. Like information, control, and hello, and all of this fucking word magic. And we just keep putting it on ourselves. You understand what I'm saying? They don't speak out or nothing, the silent majority. We're put into a trance, into a kind of spectator sports, where we're just watching the play. And it's like, if you know a car's gonna come and lick you down, you're gonna jump out the way. Where it's like they've trained us to just stand there. To just stand there moaning, oh fucking hell, this car's gonna hit me, you know. But before you get out the way, you just get yourself licked down. That's what kind of society we're in. So it's not that people ain't seeing it, but it's like we're in a spell, in a trance. Nobody wants to act or initiate action or come up with solutions. Do you see what I'm saying? And this is the perfect time for us to do that. We're supposed to be, I've got a blueprint that I think, I tried to put it out on Facebook, went over people's head. Tried to put it out again, I think it was with the Black History Group, went over people's head, or it might have been on my Instagram. Do you understand? But everybody's just talking about the same dark ass problems. Don't fall into that. It's so easy to fall into that. I've been guilty of that myself, and I apologize for that if I come across like I'm always dooming and glooming and speaking about the doomsday shit. Yeah, because that's not what I'm about, and that's not what this is about. Yeah, because listen, there's nothing to fear but yourself. When I say that, yeah, there's nothing to fear at all. But in this case, in this world, there's nothing to fear but yourself. Why do I say yourself? Because you should fear that you will hear what I'm saying to you right now and don't act on it. That should be your fear. Like that you go away from this life and you say to yourself, okay, that was a good life, or you made a few points. But it doesn't do enough to stimulate something in you, inspire something in you that says, okay, what can I do to assist what's going on, to speed it up? Yeah, I love what's going on right now with the awakening. What's my role? How the fuck can I contribute? So let's say it was gonna, if it takes 10 days for this to happen, how can I make it 9 days or 8 days? Yeah, what can I do? You understand? We're in the best window for that shit right now, for us to visualize, yeah, and tune into your power, yeah. And I'm not saying, when I say power, and I'm saying what can you do, sometimes it's as simple as just standing in your own truth and just being true to you, and being able to say no to people sometime and yes to yourself, and say to sometimes to people, yeah. If someone says, oh, do you really believe in reptiles? And yo, I know about them. Yeah, it's real. Like sometimes it might just be that, just being present in your family, so you could just be an example in whatever way it is, man. You understand? Now is the best time to do that. Yeah, don't be the silent majority no more. Don't refuse to be a spectator in this shit, what's happening. Because if you're a spectator, you are going to get sucked in to what's happening. You understand? You're going to heed all of these words of these doomsday prophets that just keep focusing you on this doom. Yeah, they're not going to focus you on working on your own kundalini energy and opening your golden temple, which is your pineal gland, and accessing both lobes, and bringing your powers back online and doing your shadow work. We need to keep the focus there, even when we're speaking about revelation and that. And that's why I did this live, and shout out to Alethea, yeah, Empress Lotus. Because we need to keep the focus on the positive shit and see this as a celebration. This shit's the ending, man. It was always going to go out with a bang. It weren't just going to happen like some fucking ribbon's going to be cut and confetti starts being thrown everywhere. This shit's going to be a disaster to get us where we need to go. And we need to accept that. And we need to understand, in order for us, again, Leaf, you remind me of this, in order for us to get through that period and be less affected by it, you have to choose not to be a part of it. Because it's all about choice. And when I say choice, I don't mean deliberately say, I'm not a part of it. I'm saying you choose by where your attention goes. If you're always wrapped up in this political mess, or you're always wrapped up in this religious debate, Muslims versus him, or Hebrew Israelites versus Kemet, and you always wrap up in this politics, or you always wrap up in this religious argument business, this 3D shit, or you always wrap up in this race thing, or you always wrap up in this celebrity thing. You know more about celebrities than probably Jalefre does about fucking Anunnakis or whatever. They got various black women and men that they know more about them fucking celebrities and who's fucking who, or who's got how much money or whatever, than Christians know about the Bible or the Muslim. You understand? Or that it's a mad thing. We need to start sorting this shit out, man, and separating ourselves and our children from those kind of influences, cutting that trigger off. You understand? Because that shit there is not acceptable no more in 2022. There's no more freeloaders. You can't freeload yourself through this scamdemic. You can't think, I'm just going to say nothing, be a spectator. I'm not going to say nothing, Even though Jadefre says this about this, or this person says this about this, I'm not really going to have nothing to say. I'm just going to like sit on the fence and ride this shit out. I'm going to spectate and freeload my ass through this shit, yeah, and just hope that we get to some. That world's gone. We're in a totally new world right now. And your ass ain't going to be able to spectate no more. We getting to that point. I already told you. They're going to come and present you with the fucking choice. A lot of us in that first wave, yeah, have got people, who folded. They took that shit in the first wave, man. Yeah. Now they're trying this other shit with the fucking 5G. Yeah. We are in the way of death, the system of the Antichrist, because the jig is up. And this is a desperation measure by the controllers of this realm, because control is slipping away. Control of the narrative, control of people's minds, control of the institutions that control everything, slipping away from them. So this is a desperation. What you've seen in 2020 all the way up to now was a desperate attempt by them to stall what they know they cannot stall. But they're just trying to find themselves time. Why do you think they're buying bunkers and shit, man, and trying to fly off to different planets? And come on. You have nothing to fear but yourself and the work that you may choose not to do. That's what you got to fear. Choosing to walk away from information like this, whether it's from myself or whoever else, when information hits you, that it doesn't cause a transformation inside of you, not outside of you, inside of you. It doesn't spark something inside of you, because real teachers, they're not only going to inform you, they're going to inspire something deep down in you. That fire, that pilot comes on, ignites. When that shit comes on, you must never let that shit go the fuck back out. You understand? Because that's your light out of here, man. Out of this shadow realm. Find a brotherhood or a sisterhood and join a group, yeah? Because we can achieve more as a group than we can as an individual. And if you can't find one, fucking start one. Build that bastard. You understand? And go and find the others that you need in that group to make your circle of light. Yeah, that's what I do. I'm a matrix builder. So I try and treat people like chemicals, like certain chemicals mixed with different chemicals will cause a fucking... So you have to have the right mixture or the right chemical of people that you can have around you, certain different minds, a strategist, an engineer, a healer, do you understand? A mathematician, a troubleshooter, someone who knows different languages. Like, we need to get with it, man, and start getting on this prepping, plan, plot, strategizing shit that Tupac was trying to tell us about and shit, man. And when it comes to that, joining groups and building groups, remember it's quality over quantity. Remember what I said about mixing chemicals. The wrong chemicals can blow up your lab, can cause a chemical reaction and blow up your lab. People are like chemicals. Certain people go well together. Certain other people, you bring them into your circle, you fuck up the whole circle. Yeah, because it's not the type of character that you need in that collective. Do you understand what I'm saying? You have to look at this shit as sacred. You understand? This is like playing chess in the real realm, not on a board. Yeah, we're not moving pieces, we're moving people. Yeah, we're moving them into their center. Because I'll say again, a lot of teachers rate themselves off of how much power they got, or how much knowledge they got, or how much whatever they got, views, likes, whatever. Yeah, I rate myself like this. I rate myself off the power I give you. Yeah, because a real teacher to me is not about how much power that teacher has. It's about how he empowers other people, the people around him, especially his students. What kind of students does he create? What kind of teachers does that student become? That's how I rate teachers. That's how I rate content creators, speakers, leaders, motivators, inspirational persons. Yeah, they have to give me something. Forget about what I've got or what the speaker's got. What is he or she giving to you? What power do you take from there? Are you inspired? Do you act on that information? Even to the point where you go and confirm it for yourself. Don't just take it from word of mouth. Let me go now confirm it, because that's now like you've saved it in your hard drive. You've clicked that shit and put it in your hard drive and saved it. So you're less likely to forget the lesson. You understand what I'm saying? There's a lot of talk about regime change coming. So these actors are creating these scenarios because they have to be changed, like your Boris Johnson. There's a lot of people, credible sources are saying that all of them stories are made up and shit. We already suspected that with Matt Hancock, and they're saying the same about the USA, about them. We may be looking at regime change in both places. Biden is being called the worst president in American history. That's a 200-year history. And he's being called the worst president. There's all types of shit going on. Border crisis, fucking pandemic, fucking economy crash, all types of shit going on over there. Yeah. So we might be looking at regime change, yeah? On the grapevine, they're saying within 10 days. And the way it's looking here, I can't speak for Biden, I'm not in America. But here in the UK, it does look like, I don't think Boris is going to make it, even before I heard this from the judge today, talking about how they're going to change the regime. And Boris and them are actors and they're making it up because he's going to go. It looks like it, because I think they need 60 people in his own party to say, okay, we ain't got no confidence in him no more. Yeah, and then that means they have to have a leadership thing, and he can't run for leadership, he's ousted. Yeah, and at the moment it's at something like 40 plus. So they need under 20 more people in the Tories to say, listen, we've had enough of Boris, man. He's lost the people, he's lost the classroom, so let's get rid of him. And I think that they are going to reach that 20. Now, like I said, because the infrastructure is crumbling, I remember I said they're going to start falling out with each other. They'll start arguing with each other and throwing each other under the bus. So it's coming out now that Boris and them are bullying party members who want to speak out against Boris. So Boris and them's fog boys, Boris's fogs in his party, are telling the rest members, listen, don't speak out about Boris, you know, us will F you up. You know, that kind of bully boy tactics. It's all coming out. Like I said, they can't control it awakening. There'll be people inside government and inside politics that's awakening. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that's a big question you need to ask yourself. Again, I'm always giving you guys questions, but are you still caught up in the politics and or religion, race, tribalism? Yeah, because the only thing important to me, yeah, when it comes to that type of shit is culture. Because culture is not really defined by race. Culture is defined by community, and the community and nation you grew up in. And every community and culture is like a list of guidances that your ancestors lived by before you. So it's tried and tested formulas that the people you come from live by, what they found. Okay, that's poisonous, that's not poisonous, that's good for you, that's not good for you. You understand what I'm saying? Culture. And culture is cultivating your identity. All this stuff about race, that's a made up word. They made race up in the 16th century. That word in America and shit, and Nazi kind of Aryan people and stuff. Yeah? And nationality is false. Like, I'm not English. I'm just born in England. I'll never call myself English. I hate when people refer to me as English. I ain't no fucking English. Do you understand? That's like going to South Africa and calling a white man an African. If I go South Africa, I don't care who white man's born in South Africa. He ain't no South African to me. He's a white man who's born in South Africa. So therefore, I apply that same shit to myself. I'm born in England, but I ain't no fucking English. I never will be. I don't want to be. I'm just born in England. And yeah, I'll reap all of the benefits of being born in England. Hell yeah, this is my earth. Do you understand? But I'll never call myself an Englishman or I'm British. None of that shit there. Not under their terms. You understand what I'm saying? Culture, yeah, is identity. And the history of his story is culture. You understand? That's why they're so quick to call you a cult when you go back to your culture. When you go back to your original teachings, they say, oh, you're a cult. Yeah, I'm cultivating my culture, mate. That's what I'm doing. Yeah, so we need to envision the new earth, man. Like I was saying, the 5D ain't nothing new. It's something we need to envision and align with so that we can speed up the vibration of our molecules and ascend into the fifth density and leave behind this 3D bullshit. Yeah, and it's 144,000 that's needed, yeah, to take this world forcefully into the 5D. Whether people like it or not, we're going to take it there. And the people who want to stay in 3D, government will continue to run, scamdemics, you understand, end of the world, all that shit will continue. Archons a lot, that shit's gonna continue for them in that dimension. Ain't about liberating the third dimension, it's about leaving the third dimension and ascending to higher states of living. You understand what I'm saying? So we need to envision the new earth. And we need to identify its 144,000 governing family. We need to make a start anyway in finding the others. Yeah, we need to vision in our mind's eye. We need to envision, how is this new earth going to be run? What type of laws is going to run it? Yeah, what type of stuff is going to be like illegal? Like, you can't do that. No, we're not having that. Yeah, what type of institutions will run it? Like, economically, are we going to have money? Are we going to be bartering? Like, we need to think about this stuff. We need to be envisioning this type of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? What is the highlights of the new earth? Yeah, what is the like postcard highlights of it? Yeah, how does it look to you when you envision the new earth in your mind? How does it look? Does it look like the Avatar planet? When you, that beautiful planet, when you walk in the earth's lighting up and all them fairy stuff dropping out the sky and stuff. Has it got pink sunsets? What's going on? Like, we need to envision this, yeah, with our perception. How does it smell? Can you feel Mother Earth? I can feel her now. I practiced it for a long time to be able to feel like underneath my feet, everything underneath my feet is an extension of me. So at certain times I like to plug in and feel, especially when I'm around trees. I use their roots to amplify the experience and just connect to everything and feel her, man. Breathe in, feel her smile, feel her stresses. Can you feel her? The new earth. Can you feel her calling you? Yeah. So now they're going to resort to Project Bluebeam. Yeah. Fake alien invasions, the lot. Why? Because they're desperate. They need something quick, man. They're losing the narrative. They're losing followers. Like, yo, crazy politicians, presidents is speaking about this shit. Yeah. So one of my circle believes cyber attacks are going to come. I can't rule that out. That's credible. Cyber attacks might come. More blackouts like you've seen with the Facebook thing. Yeah. Food shortages. Remember, I'm not trying to prophecy for you. I'm just trying to make you think about all of these things beforehand, because those who fail to plan to fail. So I'm trying to put it all out there so that you can dissect through it yourself and stay vigilant on this shit. The AI synthetics, yeah, they're gonna roll that out, because like I said, I believe they said to themselves, listen, that's it, that's as much people as we're gonna get to take this vacation. If we keep pushing, we're gonna collapse the whole thing, because people are starting to catch on. So that they're starting to worry so much. Okay, let's just relax this Rona thing, yeah, and let's just get this 5G up and running quick. Remember I said that last week. So today I'm on looking on the We On News, and Pashilka, she's my favorite journalist right now because they're not mainstream, so I get my news from them. And she's telling me, oh, all the planes don't want to fly to America because of 5G. So I've stopped what I was doing, turn around and start listening to her now. Yo, let me listen to this here 5G thing. So she's saying now, all of the countries have rolled out 5G. They're not, notice none of this is on the news until America fucks up. Yeah, if America didn't fuck up, we wouldn't know about it. But do you remember when the lockdown first started and they started rolling out all of this 5G, the infrastructure? Yeah, while we thought it stopped, they never stopped. It's just outside of the cities now. They started inside the cities and gone out. So by this time now, they're installing it around airports and stuff. But most of the countries, they keep it miles away from the airport. They don't put it near the airport because this 5G, we know what it is. It's deadly. It'll fuck up the airplanes and that. Make some of the technology stop working, especially the parts of the plane that are used for landing, that tell you how high your plane is from the ground. So that means, yo, if that piece of the plane fucks up, you ain't landing that plane. You don't even know how high you are from the fucking earth. Do you understand? So the pilots are like, hell no, we're not flying with that dangerous shit there. You understand? Listen, 250 flights to America have been grounded. Biden and them have had to make a press conference on it. Yeah, because every other country, they've got it right. They've done it secretly. We ain't none the wiser. They kept it away from the airport. Biden, how he's botched everything. I don't know what they're doing in America, but they've put it all near the airports and shit. So all of these, you got Delta Airlines was the first name called, and that's an irony because Delta is one of the variants, yeah. And that name kept coming up as soon as they came out with these vacations. Delta was like, yo, we're not giving it to our pilots because the pilots are getting sick and shit and dying and shit like that. You understand? And you got Air India, the Japanese, even here, British Airways. Who else? There's about 8 of them where they was like, yo, we're not flying there. Yeah, 116, let me get it right. 116 countries have installed this 5G technology up to the point of their airports and stuff, yeah? It's worth $8 trillion a year, just the 5G industry. 8 trillion at launch, at this launching point, 8 trillion. So there's no country that's gonna want to be left out. If you don't have that in your country, you're missing out on a whole lot of money. Do you understand what I'm saying? This is how this thing works. Your businesses and your economy, it's like, yo, that's like suicide. You have to get involved in this shit. Do you understand? But it's all come to head now. And then pilots are saying they're not flying near that shit there. They're not doing it. You understand? They've grounded the flights. Yeah? And like I said, they're desperate. But Biden, he's going to botch everything anyway. I just wanted to mention that because we did say, I feel like, yo, they've halted all this vacation narrative now and they attack on the unvaxxed. Yeah, because now they've gone into phase 2. Remember, didn't I say that? They've gone into a second wave now. Okay, that's the first wave. We're not going to get no more people to, you understand, to conform. So we might as well focus on the next part of the plan now, which is turning on this 5G grid, yeah? And we're going to turn this shit on and hear what they said. The 5G in America is 2 times more powerful than anywhere else on Earth. Why is that? Why do they feel the need to make theirs 2 times more powerful? So you Americans who are watching this, y'all need to check that out, yeah? Your 5G is 2.5 times more powerful than anybody else's. That's some crazy shit. You understand what I'm saying? That's crazy. And the fact that they kept rolling this shit out even while this full scamdemic thing was up. When we was telling people this was a politicized thing and it's not real and it's not what they're telling you. Now they're telling you what we told you. It's just going to be a flu soon. It'll just be like the cold. Did we not tell you that in the start? We said, yo, they're just rebranding influenza A and B. That's what we put in our book. Yeah. Sorry, coronation's not even here. It's in my mom's room. Yeah. We said, yo, that shit's just really like a seasonal flu. To be honest with you, the flu's worse. It's not even as bad as the flu. But they put that placebo in our head and we made it worse than it was. A lot of us bought that shit on ourselves because you was, again, I'll use the word convinced. They convinced you. We know that the 5G smart grid is a molecular technology. It's weaponized frequencies. I'm not going to go too deep into it because we know what will happen. But we know why them pilots don't want nothing to do with that shit there. Yeah, they're happy because they put a statement out as a collective, say they're happy for governments to roll out that technology, but they should keep it at least 3 miles away from them. And I'm not falling for it. It's just because one piece of the plane might go faulty. It's because that shit's dangerous. And if that shit can do that shit to planes, iron and shit, like I told you in my book, that's molecular warfare. Yeah, that's molecular weaponized frequencies that the army has been using in places like Iraq and fucking Afghanistan, testing it on people. Do you understand? Weaponized. They got that shit in satellites and stuff in lower Earth orbit. I told people this shit here. You understand? And guys, this is their last card. This shit here with the AI on top, with their singularity, which I believe they've achieved. That's their last cards on the table, man. The Project Bluebeam, which we're leading up to now with all this alien shit. Yeah, the Pentagon making an alien desk and the Vatican hiring theologians to fucking talk about aliens and shit like that. Yeah, they're bringing in this Project Bluebeam fake alien invasion. It's their last card. If you get that Illuminati card game, the last card is the alien invasion. Yeah, and the AI. Yeah, and excuse me, they've turned that shit on. They've begun to start turning that grid on. Yeah, and a lot of people are gonna drop like flies when that grid goes on. Not just like that, but more and more you're gonna see why there was urgent things, because you're gonna see all them people, all of them, I kid you not, except for the ones that are smart enough to know, they're gonna keep having to booster for life. Yeah, because yo, their shit's out, their shit's gone. Yeah, there's no army in there. I have to speak in street terms or they'll censor me when I go into that subject. Yeah, it's molecular shit, man, and they're turning it on. Yeah, and if you opt into that shit, remember what I say here. Yeah, it's no cause for you. It's no cause for you to be panic and anxious and be in fear. You've got more power than these guys. These guys, you're a god, man. No demon is more powerful than a god. So if you say you're a god, you're not supposed to fear no demon, no human, no nothing. Yeah? That's how I look at it. If I say I'm a god, why should I fear the Illuminati or government or police or a next man or... You understand what I'm saying? So we got to stop looking at this thing through the eyes of fear and start looking at it critically and saying, okay, so okay, this is how I'm gonna handle this shit here and get serious about this shit. It's not about trying to make you lot be in panic or be in fear. And we're not on no doomsday prophecy business. Yeah? But that's the last card in their game. This AI singularity shit toppled up with that grey alien face, the greys, the aliens, the fake alien invasion. Yeah? Because they know we the people are going to end up revoking all world governments. We're going to take that constitution for real and say, listen, we don't support, we don't believe in you lot. No, yo, you man are out. And if they're not getting out, we're taking them out. And that's why they're scared of people like us. Yeah. They're scared because we're going to say it, we're going to call it for what it is, man. And we're going to tell you, yeah, what's going on. Yeah. They know we're coming for them, man. And they trying to stall us. They trying to stall us with all of these fucking acting. It's all fucking acting, man. Whether it's celebrities, politicians, you understand, sports, yeah, films, it doesn't matter, music. They're using every black entertainment, comedy, anything they can to stall us, to make us stop speaking about this. What Jeffrey got you fucking listening to right now. We're not supposed to speak about this, especially when we're in contact with each other, when our auras are touching, because shit's contagious. It's gonna fucking spread. They have to put algorithms out. They have to censor. They have to shadow ban because this shit is so contagious. Go back to 2017. It was like a black revolution on social media, especially when Black Panther movie came out. They was like, yo, fuck this. We need to shut this shit down. You understand? There was so much inspiration and black people was revealing so much truth about, yo, that Wakanda state of mind wasn't no myth, man. That shit was for real. You understand? That backfired on them letting that movie out. And they had to shut shit down. Look how long it took them to make the fucking... They damn near killed the nigga. They killed the nigga for that. They was like, yo, fuck this nigga. We need to kill this dude. We can't have another one of this with him in there. This shit shitted on all the rest Marvel movies. Nobody even knew who the fuck Black Panther was. They never even wanted to give us a movie. Wesley Snipes been trying to make that movie for like 10 years. Hollywood was telling him, nah, nobody don't know about no fucking Black Panther, man. They know about Superman and Batman and all these fucking Mzungus. They don't know about no fucking T'Challa. Wesley Snipes was trying to make that shit before Blade came out. They was denying the nigga. Do you understand? When they finally made that shit, look what happened. One fucking black superhero. Look how much Mzungu superheroes they've got. You're spoiled for choice. You couldn't even name all of them for me right now. You'd leave loads of them out. That's how much of them they are. One black superhero, Black Panther. Boom, bastard. Even white fucking kids was like, yo, I wish I was black. They don't want that shit, man. They know who you are. Yeah, you're the only one who don't know who you are. You trying to be everyone else who you're not. You trying to be every other name but what you are, and every other color but what you are. It's fucking crazy. Based on some English words. I don't care what black means in English. I ain't fucking English. My language is yo, generations older than the English language. The English language ain't got shit to do with me. That's to do with English Mzungu people. So whatever black means to them, that's to them. What it means to them, that's not what it means to me. If I go back to my black language, Kemet, that means black. And the ancestors said, yo, we the black people. So if they're the black people, I'm the fucking black people. All this shit today about I'm not black and I'm Indian and I'm indigo and I'm fucking pink and I'm blue and I'm a fucking rainbow, you can keep that shit to yourself. So they're going to use intimidation, man. This is with the media because they know their numbers are falling and they're about to pop off their last cards, which is the alien shit and the AI shit. And when I say AI shit, that's broad. That shit involves Terminators, fucking clones, organic robotoids, supercomputers, quantum computers. Fucking hell. That shit there is like, yo, a whole library of shit. You understand? Like, thinking drones that'll think like a human, thinking it. Yo, it's crazy, man. This is what they're about to launch on us. Yeah, this is why I was saying we in the days of revelation, definitely. Yeah, and this is what I call the great tribulation that's coming in now, that's constantly being brought in while we're all worrying about all this irrelevant shit. Yeah, and because they know we're gonna come for them, like I posted that black woman today again from who sent me that? I'm sure it was Alethea. Shout out Empress Lotus who sent me that. And that black woman was going off about the Constitution in America and how the people can't sit at home. And them coming for our children is declaring war. They've declared, that's a declaration of war that they've done by coming and trying to test this shit that they know is a testing, experimenting, and they're trying to put that in our children. And we're sitting at home. This is war. That's a declaration of fucking war. Countries have gone to war over less than that shit. You understand? The ones that the Anunnaki are going to help are the 144,000 humans that help themselves. And they help themselves by doing the work that they need to do on themselves, in themselves. Do you understand? And I said this to you before. We'll be taken away for what seems like one day. You understand? It seems like one day down here. But for us, that experience seemed like it was going on forever on some Lion the Witch and the Wardrobe shit, some Chronicles of Narnia shit. Remember I said different time zones. So because we'll be given back certain things like your Barafari gland and we'll be taken out of this realm, dimension, yo, when we come back, we will be the ones who are removing the demiurge and all the demonic institutions, 144,000 elite warriors. Yeah, what the Matrix was based on, what Sophia Stewart was trying to talk about. Yeah, the ones. Yeah, the one, because the 144,000 is really the one. They're the unified one, the representative of the unified one here. And all we need to hit critical mass is that secret number, which is the speed of light in arc minutes. Yeah, for light to come through the dome, you get refraction. So you get what's called arc minutes, and you can track the speed of light through arc minutes when it curves from the arc. If you track it by arc minutes, 144,000 arcs per second. That's how fast light travels. So even in your mental, when your consciousness hits that speed, 144,000 arc seconds, that's when you go into what the Buddhas call enlightenment, and you experience what's called no mind, which means for that moment, it's like anything you want to know, you're claircognizant. You can just plug the akasha, and you can just sit down for half an hour and be like bastard, or it can happen in an instant. You just instantly know, okay, this is the truth about what happened to Akhenaten and King Tut and blah blah blah. And in this year 1350, this happened, and Smenkare came. It's a mad thing, and they don't want us to know this shit. You understand? But the ones that the Anunnaki help are the ones who take responsibility for themselves and remember the olden gods and remember the olden ways. Yeah, and so they bring their powers back online already without the Anunnaki's interference. So it's not like they had to come and take responsibility for you. First, you have to take responsibility for yourself. Yeah, because this life is a choice. Yeah, and you choose by way of your thoughts. Do you remember? When I say do you remember, when you're in your own space, did your mind flick back onto all of this stuff? And you ponder in your mind about the God and stuff, because according to the Quran, remembrance of God or remembrance of Allah is the greatest thing. Yeah. So it's you choose by your thoughts and your actions. Thoughts lead to your actions, because we're in a realm of choice, limited free will. So you're free to experience even evil, even though you got to pay for it. If you want to have that experience, you're free to experience it, but you got to pay for it for infringing on other people's experience. That's the biggest sin. Yeah. Right now with this removal of the veil, yeah, a lot of people center it around CV. You understand, around the Rona, but it's not just about what they've done with this scamdemic thing. This removal of the veil and this time that we're in is exposing everything they've ever done. Everything they've ever done. Do you know how long those injustices go back? From the scamdemic going all the way back. Like if we scan 6,000 years, even if we did only 100 years, yeah, the 20th century was the bloodiest century on record. Even if we only focused on that 100 years, yeah, 20th century. But just go back 6,000 years and think of all the souls that have been tortured, raped, lynched, butchered, threw over ships, kidnapped, locked up for innocent shit. Like, fucking hell, man. Quartered, you know what quartered is? Tied on a horse, like one horse ties your hands to one horse and ties legs to another horse and make the horses run in the opposite die. All types of shit. Set us on fire, like threw us off cliffs. Come on, man. Every unimaginable shit that you can think of that's happened, is the karma of it is come up right now with this great awakening. So it's not just about people waking up. Yeah, it's more than that. It's about the repercussions of that. Yeah, the shock that certain people who are naive, that have just found out, bastard, this shit, hold on, this shit leads to this and to this and to, and yeah, you can even see it with certain media channels now. I was watching The Hill earlier, yeah, and the woman on The Hill, I forgot her name, she's a good presenter as well, and she was saying, yo, Donald Trump was right when he first came in and had that rant about fake news. Fake news! And he started calling all the media fake news and shit. She said when he first did that, she thought, what the hell is this man doing? He's attacking journalists and rare. She says now, years later, she sits at home thinking, bastard, my man was right, you know. And she's like, I hope he don't never come back. Because if he does come back, people are going to start watching the news again. People are going to start watching the media again. This guy's got like 1 billion followers or some shit like that. Loyal fucking Trump supporters, yeah? Proud boys or whatever you call them. They're saying, yo, if this guy ever comes back in office, he'll be like, he's what the media needs. They need a nigga like him, because nobody ain't watching Joe Biden. Niggas dropping sleep and turning off the TV, yeah? Watching Biden. The contrast between Trump and Biden is bad for media. You understand? Trump kind of like kept people watching for a while because he was entertaining. Do you understand? Like I said, man, how many souls, children, elderly, women, yeah, third world people, how many people's houses been bombed, children been bombed, people died from starvation or died from some silly measles or flu, something we go around the corner here and get some prescription for some other bullshit that they made up, yeah, to cure what they made up. It's a mad thing going on in this new world here, in this modern world. Yeah, the world is a stage built on blood, murder, rape, genocide, invasion, occupation, deception, and pure evil. That's what the modern world is built on. Not no Ross Clark liberty and justice and pursuit of happiness. America weren't built on no liberty and no justice. America was built on slavery of indigenous people. Ones that they found in America and rebranded them, and ones that they bought from fucking West Africa and rebranded them. America was built off that, and so was Europe, Liverpool, London, the lot. All of them shit was dumps, yeah, for most parts of their existence. Only since the friggin' slavery days has these places been built up into what they are now. And nobody wants to talk about this. People have been trying to skip over colonialism and westernism. Like Muzungu Americans are not occupiers, colonizers, like they're Americans. You talk about a white American, you just say, oh, American. You see a black American, they got to be an African American or a black American. A Mexican American, they got to be a Mexican American. A Chinese American, you got to be a Chinese American. A Puerto Rican American, they got to be a Puerto Rican American. But a white American, they just American. That's how fucking smart and how good at this shit they are. That today we just say, okay, that person's American. Like Mark Wahlberg. We won't say, okay, he's German American, because his family's from Germany. Then niggas ain't Americans. We'll just say, okay, the Americans. But then we'll say black American and Mexican American and this is how deep the spell goes. This is how good they are. While John said in 844, you father was a liar, and you guys are liars just like your father. That's what Jesus said to man, the real Jesus, Yeshua. The world is a stage, man. It's built on blood, murder, rape, genocide, invasion, occupation, and deception. And I should have put in there magic, yeah? Because we can fucking rebrand this world, and we should have done it so long before. But it's like I said, we're in a spell, in a spectator sleep, yeah? Why do you think all of this cabal, all of them have got a bunker? If you ain't got a bunker, you feel left out. Or if you ain't got a spot in one of these bunker cities, you're going to feel left out. Every one of these politicians that you see on TV and these A-lister celebrities that have been there for years, they just like was born there, yeah? All these bastards are in on it. They're part of this Aldebaran Archon reptilian scam. Do you understand? All of them are lying, and that's why they come from certain families. Their families have been in that aristocracy for a very long time, and they get put into position. Do you understand what I'm saying? They get put into position. And that's why the media or history or school, no one wants to talk about the track record of the Muzungu and the 11 tribes that came and brought this carnage and built this world into what it is today. Nobody wants to speak about it. They brand it as racism. You understand? But they billing bonkers everywhere because they know we go and come for them. And soon from now, they're not going to be able to live out here among us. They're not going to be able to walk in public. They can't even do that now. Do you think a person like President Macron or Biden can go anywhere without hundreds of £1,000 worth of security detail? If he wants to go to the shop down the road, you got to pay hundreds of thousands of pounds to people who have to make sure your head don't get fucking wigged. Someone don't just shoot your head off. Someone don't just box your head off with a shovel. You can't walk in normal society no more. Soon from now, these people, who was it? Nancy Pelosi was in Italy, and the mob found out they was having protests there. Someone must have said, yo, that Pelosi bitch is in the church around there, you know. She's on visits. Yo, that mob nearly reached her ass. They had to inform her, yo, get out of there now. Because if you get caught in there, they'll just pull her apart, pull her limbs off. You understand? They can't be out in the public soon. They know what time it is. So they investing in these bonkers, and not only bonkers, they investing in technology to try and go beyond the dome and go to the moon and Mars and all of this different shit. Yeah? You might not take this shit serious. They take this shit serious enough to do all of that. They take this shit and put it in action. We just sit down and listen to this shit and then switch the channel over and watch other shit and sit on our ass at home. These people are fucking spending millions of their money and making moves and investments to shore themselves up. Even though we know it's inevitable that they're going to lose, they're still taking the action. We are the ones that are not taking the action. Some of us are going to be on the losing side, I'm sorry to say. Yeah? But we must keep in the spirit of upliftment and keep in the spirit of there's nothing to fear except us, ourselves, and our inaction. We should fear inaction. That's what we should fear. Yeah? And remember that these politicians, these corporate people, these celebrities, these actors, these people are not our friends, man. They're not friends of humanity. They're not on our side. Black ones, white ones, Indian ones, China, none of them, they're their own thing. They're not a part of us. We got to stop seeing them as humans. It's that serious. It's on some, what's it called? That movie, They Live. It's like we got to put the shades on, man, and start seeing these people for who they really are. Multinational corporations and fucking Mark Zuckerbergs and Elon Musk and all these people that they put in our faces like this is somebody we should venerate. Why? Oh, because he made electric cars. So what? Oh, he launches rockets. So yeah, so you understand? We need to stop being like starstruck by these people. Like we're supposed to give them our attention. Who the fuck cares, man? We want him off the planet. We want to smash up Tesla so he can't make nothing. You understand? This is how we need to be going about and giving this mind state to the next generation, man. Not just spectating, just sitting down with the fluoride stare and arguing about who's right out of Hebrew Israelites or Kemet. Is Jesus real and all of that shit. Yeah, all of that shit's relevant. But that's not supposed to be our pivot point. Our pivot point's supposed to be us heightening our vibration so we can break free from this prison, which is a prison planet or this prison realm that we're calling Earth. And remember, it's all about Merkaba energy, yeah? Because there's nothing stronger than the human will. I don't care about no tribulation or no Armageddon or no demon, yeah? Have you ever gone against a human that's determined for this shit to get done? They determined, yo, I'm gonna do this, and they fucking did it, yeah? Never underestimate the human spirit. That's what these these big head niggas don't understand. You big head greys and shit. They don't understand. They ain't nothing like the human spirit. Greys don't have it. Reptilian don't have it. Tall whites don't have it. Aldebaran don't have it. The only beings that have that, yeah, is the humans on Earth because of the involvement of the Riskians. That pool there. You can't fuck with humans on Earth. If you want to survive this, you're going to survive, I guarantee you. I'm getting to the end, guys, yeah. Yeah, none of them are our friends, man. They're all actors, man. Demons, avatars. Some of them are even extraterrestrials. Because a lot of us still think aliens, extraterrestrials look like ET. Most aliens look like humans. Yeah? The majority of aliens look like me and you. There's loads of aliens right now sit down in your government. Loads of aliens come and sit down in the NBA or play in the NBA or go in Hollywood, porn industry, music industry. Don't get it twisted. Elvis was one of them. Yeah? Maybe 20 years ago people would have laughed. But now I don't even think that's hard for most people to believe, even if they don't know. Do you understand? Loads of aliens come down here and pose as humans because they look just like humans. So, like I said, these people are not your friends. Yeah, I'm not saying all aliens here posing as humans are bad, because some are just here like a tourist thing. You can get a passport and come to Earth and visit if you're not going to stand out. You can get permission, and aliens come here just to have their experience and see Earth and shit and get off. You understand? But I'm saying as a collective, when we're talking about this cabal, your governments and stuff is composed of actors. Some of them are demons like reptilians and shit, shapeshifters. Some of them are avatars where there's other consciousness driving that body like a car. Some of them are extraterrestrials. That's how they look, just like a human, and they're just here posing in your government and in Hollywood and shit. Some of them are synthetics, who are robots and fucking clones and shit. And all your news, especially when it comes to elections and swearing in, voting and all that shit CGI, just like NASA. So when you see, sometime when you see Biden or whoever else making a speech, Boris, that's not even Boris. Sometimes it's somebody with a mask on, sometimes it's CGI, where they just superimpose somebody's face over. It's a mad thing, and everybody there is picked to be there. They're part of the scam. Like I said, it's all acting. It's all a cast. It's a broadcast. So it's got a casting, meaning they've got actors on set. It's a set. You understand? Yeah, so all of that shit, like Biden's whole election thing and swearing in, he never went to no White House. That nigga was in a little room with green screen and shit, man. And he got caught out. Yeah. So everything is see-through right now. Zionism, we know they're not no Israelites. They can call themselves Israelis or Jews or Ashkenaz, whatever name. But they ain't the people who God, the real God, was talking about in the Bible. Yeah. Zionism's been exposed. Yeah. Egyptians today, when you go to Egypt, they've been exposed. We know that's not their fucking ancestors. That's not their shit. They're a bunch of Muslims. They're not even supposed to be making no money off no idols. According to them, that's idols and shit. Everywhere else, they smash it up. They go Afghanistan, they smash up the Buddha statues and stuff. Them age-old Buddha statues, yeah, that go back before the Taliban. The Taliban dynamited them shit. They invited the fucking press, everybody. Yo, come see what's gonna happen. When the press came, they blew that shit up right on the world stage to show you. They don't give a fuck about none of that Asian stuff. But if they can make some money, like the Arabs is making money, milking our ancestors, they're telling you about idol worship and shit, but they're making millions of fucking dollars off the art and the legacy, the living legacy of us. Do you understand? You got Arabs who ain't no fucking Arabs. They're Arabs, yeah, because they're wanderers, but they're not the original Arabs that was spoken about in Muhammad's time. The Himyarite Arabs, Himyar meaning black, dusky, dark Arabs from Sudan and Ethiopia and Eritrea and shit. You understand who you call Yemenis today? These Arabs today, they fucking Turkish, Seljuk Turks, Ottoman Turks and shit, who came down in the 7th century that led into the Arab conquest of Africa and shit. They ain't no fucking real Arabs. Them Americans, we've already spoken about them. We should be calling them white American. And black people, we should just say American. We should reverse that shit on them. When you talk about black people, stop saying African American, just say American. And when you speak about white people, start saying, yo, European American. Switch that shit round on them and see how they like it. We need to have this mentality and stop, you understand, even with the fucking Saxons and stuff here. When we say Britain, stop saying black British, just say British if we're going to take it there. And then white people say, oh, then white British. Well, then, you understand, we need to switch up the fucking narrative, man, and own this shit, own our own shit, and teach our own theory. Why do you think they're so scared of critical race theory? It's because it's not just coming from black people no more. This is coming from teachers in university and shit, man, saying, yo, we want to teach the truth about fucking American history, which is black history. Any history is black history. If you go to India and teach Indian history, you're going to end up in black history. If you go to Rome or Greece and teach Roman or Greek history, you're going to end up in black history. If you go to America and teach the history of America and the Constitution and all, you're going to go into black history. Like, there's no escape from it. So they can't have critical race theory come out. But now you got a tug of war because college lecturers and certain people, they're like, yo, we want this shit need to be told. Certain soldiers in the army and shit are like, yo, we want to know this shit. This shit's affecting the whole fucking... It's like when wood gets rot and the rot set into the wood, yeah? And there's nothing you can do because the rot's already set in. So that wood is fucked. You can't use that wood to build a house. But the world, the Kaaba, their wood is all rotted. The rot set in because of the awakening, but they're still trying to reset and build up a fucking house with all this rotten wood. It's gonna fall down soon, man. Be prepared for when this shit falls down. Shore up your money in the banks or whatever you gotta do to make sure you're on a sure footing, man, because a fucking implosion's coming. Some Jericho shit. These walls are gonna fall down. So that's why they're scared of critical race theory. Because critical race theory should just be called fucking black history or white history. Because it's gonna expose both. So it doesn't matter what side of the coin you want to call it. It's both history. And slavery shouldn't just be termed as black history no more. We, in the awakening, should now rebrand slavery as white history. Like, we are in a position to reverse the narrative. People like myself that are having publishing companies like TZT is a reason why we need you guys, because we need to initiate that. We need to have 10, 20 publishing companies like TZT just in England, and then have 50 or fucking 5,000 in America, and have another fucking 3,000 in Africa. So now we start owning and patenting our own shit. We don't want to fucking have no official sources no more. We'll argue with fact checkers. We'll say, fuck a fact checker. That's your fucking facts. That's not to us. Yeah. You ain't even a fact. You see what I'm saying? I'm going to take it there. So yeah, critical race theory is dangerous, man, because it's going to expose all of that shit. But Israelites, Jews, Egyptians, Arabs, Americans, British, Greeks, Romans, Trojans, Phoenicians, Babylonians, Sumerians, Chaldeans, right back to fucking Kush. And they're going to have to rewrite history books. Do you know how much work that is? Do you know how much lies they've told? The mountain of lies they've told is bigger than Mount Everest. Don't get it. It's bigger than Olympus Mons on Mars. Olympus Mons on Mars is the biggest mountain in the whole fucking this solar system. All the planets, that's the biggest mountain on Mars. It's called Olympus Mons. It's something like 10 times the size of Everest. The lies that the Muzungu have told in this realm, the mountain that they've created on top of the truth, yeah, is fucking bigger than Olympus Mons. They can't have critical race theory come out without trying to fight it down. Yeah. Commerce is about to break down as well. That's why you're seeing inflation going in the way it's going. It's going to continue to go that way. It's going to get worse and worse. It's a good time right now to invest in the crypto. I'm not saying to listen to these stupid people who come in your inbox with all that crypto shit in their bio. Fuck that. If I see that, I'm blocking their ass. Because if you want to do crypto, find somebody in your circle that you trust. I'm talking about family member or somebody or work, somebody who you trust, and do it that way. Don't listen to none of these online people, man, looking for the next raise. But it's a good time right now to invest in the crypto, because this fiat currency and shit about to fall. And if you got big savings in the bank, it's a good time to start thinking, yo, maybe I should take that out, not just have it all in one place. Maybe I should like take some out, have it in some hiding place or some shit. It's that peak right now. It's like that, because you're gonna regret if something did happen and they just all your shit's just wiped out. Yeah. The judicial system as well, that's crumbling. All that maritime law shit is being discovered. There's judges right now, like the one I've spoke about, who's speaking out about this fucking maritime law and all these fake ass laws and mortgages and all of that type of shit. Yeah. And remember, Donald Trump may come back in, as to what I've told you with the media and stuff. They're losing the people. And Donald Trump's a great actor. I tried to tell guys in the start, when Donald Trump first came and everyone was like, he's the savior and he's saving us from sex trafficking and this. No, he's fucking not. He's a part of it, and he's the biggest actor, and he's actually good at it. It's like Biden. You understand? You see, like someone like Tony Blair, he was good at it. He knows how to fucking lie and make it look good and make it look natural, like he's telling you the truth, and he really believes in this shit. Like, these guys are stars. Other politicians look up to them like, bastard, you killed it in your fucking time. Your shit's a legacy. Do you understand? And even though Trump only did one term, it was supposed to be that way. They orchestrated it a way that he could come back in. Because to me, it was like, remember I was saying this at the time. This is not something new I'm saying now. I was saying at the time, it seems to me like they know that the Democrats are done, basically. So they need to build up the Republicans with Trump to a point where they can have a failsafe, because they're losing the narrative. So now they need to catch it with someone else. So they're going to bring in this great actor. What was his show called? The Apprentice or whatever. He's a celebrity. He acts on TV. He's famous off it. It's the best time of his life. He's more famous than ever. We need to prep you up to come in and do a performance like you do on this Apprentice shit in the presidency. and go on like you're against the swamp and the swamp needs draining and you're gonna do this and you're gonna do that, but basically don't do none of that shit. Just make people believe in that shit like Obama did. Do you understand? For the Democrats. Yeah, and I told niggas, but right now I feel like they need Trump back in because they losing this shit, man. They losing big time. Yeah, and so that's why I think there's such a rush to get Trump to build up this new platform that's gonna take on Twitter and take on Facebook and all the banning. Like, come on, Trump is not the richest man on the planet. There's other people who could have done what Trump did, but do you think they would really let someone else do that? Like, let's say just some unknown person got silenced on Twitter and then said, fuck that, I'm making my own shit, where I don't even have to rely on the server that all them social media, I'll make my own server. They would never allow that unless it's somebody who's in on the fucking acting, the scheme. So Trump is the failsafe to me. I didn't believe none of that shit then, and I don't believe none of that shit now. Do you understand? And my book can vouch for me. All you got to do is read that shit, Coronation, and I expose Trump as a Jesuit, yeah, a fucking Judeo-Christian, meaning they're both Jew and Christian. They're Jesuits, and they protect the whole fucking Israeli shit. That's why Trump's over there talking about he supports the moving of the capital of Jerusalem, the capital from Tel Aviv to Jerusalem, because this links into what we spoke about the Dajjal and the Antichrist and the temple that they're going to build in honor of this Satan in fucking Jerusalem where Solomon's temple was. So Trump and them are all a part of that as the order of the dragon, whereas Hillary Clinton and them are the order of the phoenix. So you've got a male, masculine, feminine energy thing. The order of the dragon's a masculine energy dominated thing. The order of the phoenix is a Democrats, they're a feminine dominated thing. So you'll have like the Hillary Clintons, and even when Obama's in, you have just as much light on Michelle Obama, the feminine. Well, what they tell us is feminine. You understand? They like to do, and the Nancy Pelosi's and all of these feminine figures. Whereas on the Republican side, you ain't really gonna hear about no fucking feminine. You're just gonna hear the fucking Trump and the Bushes and the fucking Hawks. Do you understand what I'm saying? They're from the order of the dragon. They're all Jesuits, priests, man. And Trump is a celebrity. Yeah, and that truth official, if you sign on to that and think you're getting some kind of truth from Trump, you're caught up in the matrix too. Yeah, because remember I told you wise men and women are becoming extinct. So there's not a lot of people who are going to tell you this. Because like I told you, we're always looking for a savior. Black people have got that savior syndrome. So when Obama came in, Obama's going to change shit. He's like fucking Jesus. I was laughing at my mom and my dad, like, because they fell for it. I was like, nah, this nigga one of them. I wasn't having a bar of it because I did the homework on him to know about his mom, the CIA honeypot, and say, oh shit, she's related to these lot. Fucking Theresa May and all of them. So, and no one was believing me. I was in college at the time, yeah, doing an access course to university. Yeah, shout out to Leicester College. And the boys in the class were like, oh, son, you're chatting shit, man. Because I was telling them about the Blue Blood Bible and that, and Obama's one of them. Yeah. And then the same happened with Trump. As soon as Trump comes in now, he does the minimal for black people. Like, you give him a crumb. Yo, Trump's on our side. He's fucking working for black people. Do you know how much business he's done with black people over the years? He backed Mike Tyson and, they went in again. And I was telling people, like, listen, Trump is not on our side, man. This QAnon thing is a see-through. You understand? Ancestors already gave me the scope. They said, listen, son, you know that Anonymous? They got exposed. So now they're rebranding Anonymous. So you will see another group come. And they're so dumb, they call it Q Anonymous. Like, how stupid, yeah? Ancestors have already gave the warning. This Anonymous, they're exposed, yeah? I know members of Anonymous that I used to work with on sales jobs. Yeah, so I know about Anonymous, yeah? Yo, Anonymous is exposed. Okay, 2 weeks later, QAnon. I'm like, yo, this shit, ancestors don't lie, man. And then you got Trump's brother who died, telling you about fucking, who is it? Kennedy's son. Kennedy's gonna come and he's gonna be, Kennedy's not dead, and they're gonna announce him on this Christmas day. Do you remember all of that shit? That QAnon shit? None of this shit happened, and you still got people out here on this QAnon shit, still speaking about this stuff. Like, yo, Every month it's a new date. Okay, this month Robert Kennedy's gonna come out and they're gonna announce this, and your TV will turn off, and then it don't happen. Okay, you see next month the radio gonna come on, and this is gonna happen, and the army's gonna arrest Biden. Okay, it don't happen. You see, this shit's been going on for like 10, 11, 12 months, man, and people are still entertaining this distraction. You understand? Wise men are becoming extinct. Any little crumb they give us, we seem to think, yo, this is the dude. I'm not the dude. That guy ain't the dude. That guy ain't the dude. That guy ain't the dude. You're the fucking dude. You. All of us are the fucking dude. That's what the Matrix was trying to wake us up to. All of us has got a role to play. I'm going to get to your questions, Jack. I'm nearly done, and I've got it in the charger so my battery won't flat. Don't worry. Yeah. George Orwell will continue for those who choose to keep participating in this shit here. It's your choice. This nanny state where the government, you need a government, someone to control your mind and your perception and your interpretation of reality and perception for you to get by. You need somebody to, the average human, 8 out of 10 humans, they need that authoritative figure to hold their hand and walk them through this experience called life. They need someone to tell them, you know what, your immune system can't handle the world, life. Therefore, every now and then, you've got to have something synthetic that's not from Mother Nature that we put in you in order for you to be able to survive. Otherwise, you'll more likely get sick, which is fucking bullshit. You don't need nothing except sunlight, exercise, positive thoughts, what else? Positive diet, alkaline diet, good hydration, basically them 5 things. Yeah, that's all you need, man. Good socialization with other good natured human beings. That's all you need. You don't need to pray 5 times a day. You don't need to go here every Friday or go here every Sunday. You don't need to do this. You don't need to do that. You understand what I'm saying? All of that shit is humans coming with this bullshit to make you feel like you've got to be doing something or you should. Yo, it's bullshit. The only thing you've got to be doing is giving gratitude every day for waking up, because life don't owe us nothing. God don't owe you that you must wake up tomorrow. The universe don't owe you that. The universe can shut you down tonight. You can go sleep tonight and that's it, mate. There's no argument. There's no contract where you signed the contract and said, okay, I'm going to have 80 years on earth. Yeah, I'm going to live like this. And there's no contract. You agree to your contract. Do you understand what I'm saying? So therefore, anything that happens, you already agreed to that. So life don't owe us nothing down here. The universe don't owe you nothing down here. Anu don't owe you nothing down here. So we should be waking up in gratitude and finding the gratitude that, hold on, I'm alive with the breath of life and health. Do you understand? At least let me be grateful for that, because I could not be here. The universe could have just decided, yo, you ain't going to be part of this. So there was never a you, and there's never is a you, and there's never going to be a you. But you're here right now. You understand? At least give gratitude for that I'm here, I'm in the now. You understand? And proxy wars, yeah? There's proxy wars going on right now to keep us in this control, in it, because the fear thing keeps us in a certain control formation. And there's real wars going on right now. And that's why Matthew 24 in the Bible, it says there'll be wars and rumors of wars. That means there'll be real wars, yeah, and there'll be proxy wars. Like real fucking shit wars. Like, oh, yo, the troops are gathering in the Ukraine and on the Russian border. Might be a real war, might be a proxy war. The Indian government's clashing with Pakistan in Kashmir and that might be a proxy war to keep control. You understand? Maybe they're both in on it, yeah? Might be a real fucking war. Like, I've had enough of you, mate. You Hindus. Hindus say, yo, fuck that, you Paki Muslims. I've had enough of you. I've seen it around here. I live in Highfields, Leicester. This is like one of the biggest industries outside of Bollywood that Indians have right here in Leicester. I've gone down the road and seen 2 dudes that look basically the same. One saying, you're a fucking Paki. And the other one saying, you're a fucking Indian Bengali bastard, and I can't tell the difference. I'm like, bastard, this shit is deep. So it's not only us with the Bloods and Crips or the Hutus and Tutsis. That shit's all over the world, man. You got I got Hindustani niggas that don't like Muslims, but they're both Asian, they're both Indians. They're like, yo, I fucking hate Muslim, man. I don't roll with them, man, there. Like, we all need to get beyond this shit here. They chopped us up, they carved us up. Obviously, they did us the worst, the heavily menelated, but they did it to all the others too. Proxy wars and real wars. There'll be wars and rumors of wars. Nation will go against nation. Great pestilence, man. Yeah. Slave labor. I wanted to speak and say the workforce that I told you, working 40 hours a week for someone else on some job that you hate. That job don't fulfill you. You're not on the earth to do that as your job. But we've been put into this matrix and we're doing all these fucking jobs and stuff that is stopping you from being you. Now you're a human doing. They got you being a human doing and life is passing you by. Because all the plans you had for life, just being a human being, you just want to be a fucking human and live. Like a lion don't have to do nothing to be a lion. A lion can just be a lion. A fucking eagle don't have to do nothing to be an eagle. It can just be an eagle. It's got the right to be an eagle. It's got the right to be a lion or a tree or a wolf. You ain't got the right to be a human. You have to have a fucking job. You have to have money. You have to pay for water. You have to pay for food. You have to go to work every day for 8 hours out of your 12 hours. Every fucking day. Not even for yourself, but for some fucker else that you don't even know the dude. Dude's probably minted. He ain't never going to run out of money. Do you understand? But this is how sick we are. And we keep thinking it's just Illuminati and all of it. No, it's us. This is how sick we are that we've accepted this. And that we can sleep easy knowing this and just go sleep and say, okay, well, I'll just wake up and go work tomorrow. And like I said, it's not me trying to say don't go to work and stuff. But try and see further than the nose. Try and see right down there and see, bastard, where's this going? Where does this stop for us? What, some bullshit pension? I'm like 70 years old. They keep moving the pension age higher and higher. So what is it now? 70 years old. Yeah. Now by the time I'm 70, now that I've worked all my fucking life on some slave shit, I can't even enjoy this car no more. Yeah. The car, I buy the car that I've always wanted. I'm 70 years old. Yeah. I can't go to the club and draw and pull a girl or something. Life is already gone. It's already passed me by. The same car that I used to want, I probably don't even want that car no more. It don't have a function for me now that I'm 70. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's crazy, and we just accepted it. We've been convinced that this is the way of the world. And if you go to every country, it's like everyone's just in simulation. Like, when did it happen? You understand? All governments are set up the same. Like, whether you go to Iran and they're Muslims, whether you go to the Italians and they're fucking Vatican and shit, whether you go to America and Washington, D.C., the UK, they're all basically the same strategy, the same clothes, the same set of rituals, the same, and we've just been programmed to accept it. Now we got to understand the problem is as much with us as it is with the cabal and everything going on outside. And this is what was meant by Armageddon, how it's not just an external war. The biggest part of Armageddon is going to be happening inside of us, is the action that you take to stop all the wars that are going on inside yourself, to heal all your conflicted and unhealed parts, and to not have no scattered parts, to bring everything together as one so that it works for you instead of you always fighting with yourself. Yeah, so all that shit's done. What I'm saying, all of that shit became see-through, from the Zionism to history to religion to nationalities to commerce and the judicial system to Donald Trump and celebrities. Yeah, wise people are coming extinct. They know we're coming for them. They're setting up these proxy wars. Yeah, and there are real wars that are fucking bordering. It's too early for me to tell you which are real and which are fake. Yeah, time will reveal for us which ones are real and which ones. I can't sit down from here and tell you. All I can tell you is, yo, it seems like both are going on. I don't know which is which. Yeah, I'm leaning towards that Russian shit is some kind of real thing. Yeah, it's not a proxy thing. It's some world war setup kind of shit. But it could be a false war. Yeah. So don't hold me to that. Yeah. It's too early to tell. Yeah. The workforce, slave labor, the way that we go to work and work for these corporations and shit and neglect our dreams. We take this bullshit paycheck, this bullshit they pay us to forget our dreams and to not fulfill ourselves. And then we go home and we take it out on our children, and we take it out on our friends, and we take it out on our parents, we take it out on our spouses. Yeah, because we just don't feel fulfilled. We don't. We don't like the fucking jobs that we're doing. We want to do something else. But we gotta make money. We gotta we living by this dog eat dog system where it's not about no community or bartering or us being there for each other and communities raising children together and all of us care. If you care about your child, you should care about all the children in the community and shit like that. Like the shit is just so messed up, and we spend so much time on the doom and gloom and focusing on Illuminati and Cabal and reptilians and Anunnaki and rare when there's so much work in this last days in this Armageddon that is to do with us and our elevation of consciousness and shit. Because that's the real elevation of consciousness. Us to start, just like we might sit here and read a book and open the book and sit here and read. Open yourself like this and read yourself like this book at our hotel. Study it, read the back, the bio. You understand? Start breaking ourselves down to the parts, like reverse engineering, like they do with them alien craft. And once we've broken ourselves into all these little parts and understand how they work, then build back something totally different. That's what remember means. To remember. First you must dismember. Take it apart, like I'm saying, all down to your basic parts. What makes you go? What makes you tick over? What's your triggers? What are your addictions? What are your flaws? What could you improve on? You understand? What you're not doing enough of. Why? Why do you feel like this? Why do I have a reaction to this like this? Like you have to be the scientist of yourself and break yourself down into these little parts. And then in the Armageddon, you can now rebuild something totally different because now you can re-engineer these parts and say, okay, well, I want this part to function like this. I want to lock off that trigger there and I want it to fit that there, then I'll fit that there. And you form your own Voltron. You build your own superhuman. Do you understand? It's a lot more easy than you think, but people are trying to spook you out with religion and all that mysticism and shit. When God deals with science, the super science, the science of the gods, the Anunnaki, the Neteru, the science of the Elohim. You understand? I'm getting there. Yeah, prepare now to do for yourself. Form communities now that you can go off the grid with. Because right now, strength in numbers, numbers are going to count. And even though we need quality over quantity, we still need numbers, yeah? Being part of a brotherhood or sisterhood or group is better than being on yourself, yeah? Start learning how to grow your own food if you don't already know. Like I said, invest in land. Get together as a group, family, friends, work colleagues, the ones that are serious enough, even if it's just 2-3 people, yeah? And start making plans, man, for when the shit. Have a what if scenario and sit down together instead of watching some bullshit Love and Hip Hop or whatever else. Sit down for an hour and have meetings like, yo, if a bomb dropped right now in town, yeah, what would you do? What would we do? What would be the best thing? We need to start having these conversations, man. Otherwise, we are really daft, and wise people are really gone extinct. Because if we ain't thinking about this type of self-preservation, if we ain't taking it serious enough to even have these kind of level discussions and stuff, when governments are spending millions of dollars to build bunkers and risk their lives, sending astronauts here and there to see if they can break the dome to get out of here, but we ain't taking it serious enough even to have these discussions. We would rather talk about all the bullshit, mundane shit. You understand? It's crazy. Learn to grow your own food. Learn to heal ourselves. Learn the Dr. Sebi shit and alkaline diets and alkaline water and stuff in as much as you can. Integrate it into your diet. Yeah. Have a exercise regime which involves discipline and you putting your mind and your body through a process where you have to commit to a certain goal and stuff, because we're going to need to rely on that type of mentality more and more going into this chaos further and further. Do you understand? Go back to Mother Nature. Go back to Mother. If you don't know like how to grow food or heal yourself, and don't feel dumb, just go back to Mother Nature, because it's that simple. Mother Nature is she'll teach us. She'll show us, man. You understand? Go back to Mother Nature, or at least go back to the people that you know are gone back to Mother Nature. Go back to the natural, man. Yeah. Let her show you, because the supernatural is the best protector right now. As I said, enshroud yourself in the armor of God, the Merkaba energy. Yeah. Plan ahead, man. Sit down in your groups, and rather than speaking about mundane things or celebrities or whatever, TV show, Netflix or whatever, or people gossiping about people or whatever, start plotting and strategizing. Yeah. Bring more and more people into your planning and your plotting and your strategizing, man. Yeah. Nothing stronger than human will, not even this tribulation that's predicted. Yeah. The the elect will be protected, but you have to choose yourself as the elect. Yeah. And we need to indulge in group exercises which help us to speed up the vibration of our molecules. Things like fasting, things like visualization technique, astral projections, yeah, energy generation, where you generate energy and visualize it and then move it. You can do it with your eyes shut, where you move it, where you create it in your mind's eye, and once you've created your energy ball, you move it left, move it right, move it left, move it outside your head, bring it back, start moving the energy, start moving your kundalini energy, so you can feel it in your fingertips, you can feel it go around and work on your pineal gland. You understand? Increase your body temperature, slow it down, drop your temperature. These are all techniques we're going to need to learn. Yeah. Go days without eating meat, so you can wean yourself more and more off of meat, especially if you're from the bloodlines that are heavy meat eaters. So I'm saying things like that. We need to speak more about things like that, because that's not my strength. So there's other people who could give you way more information than I could in that regard. Do you understand? But it doesn't mean I'm not going to encourage you guys and speak in that direction. Do you understand? And lead you to the content that is speaking in that language. Yeah. And it's time to say no by our actions and our thoughts. So we're putting our attention only in the places that is going to benefit us. I'm not saying we can't have entertainment, because that's beneficial too, to unwind and let your hair down. But let's now take back control of our attention, because the process has begun, man. You got people getting pig hearts and shit. You got wars kicking off everywhere, proxy wars. You got this 5G grid getting turned on. A lot of people are going to get sick. Yeah, we've got one down here, one 5G tower. When I go to the gym, if I've got my headphones on and I'm playing music, it interferes with the music. As soon as I pass by that 5G tower, the fucking static, you can't even hear the song for a good 15 seconds until I'm away from that shit. Yeah. And I was speaking to Peter about it the other day and saying, yo, it's crazy, right by the Ibis Hotel right here. Yeah. A lot of people are going to be affected by that shit. Yeah. Make sure that you're there for people who haven't met themselves this far yet. So they haven't come to this type of information. So they won't be ready for certain revelations and the implications and repercussions of it, and certain events that's about to break out across the earth, because there's a lot of stuff going on that they don't show us. So like I said, don't just go by what the media is showing you and think just because nothing's going on the news, it means nothing's going on in the world, because that's wrong. Yeah, there's shit kicking off everywhere right now. And if you have the right channels to look away from the mainstream media, they've got independent little 1-2 agencies that will show you all the happenings of what they're not prepared to tell you on the mainstream corporations. Yeah. Because a lot of people are being activated right now. They're being switched back on. They are switching themselves on. It's time in their consciousness where their consciousness has come to a point where it's just hit that expansion mode. And now certain things they wasn't willing to accept before. They might have heard of certain things before, but they never had that push to really consider that shit until 2020 came in and all of this madness started. There's a lot of people like that. And now they've been forced to go back to all the stuff that their cousins told them, or their friends told them, or their last boyfriend, or whoever, or when there was children. A lot of people have gone back to, yo, the seeds that were planted in them. So there's a lot. That's why I say they can't control the awakening. Yeah, it's too much for them. All they can do is try and hinder it, try and like give it problems. You understand? And try and stop people from awakening. And that's what all of this jux is for, and the blocking of the sun rays, the light codes, and all of this. It's all for a purpose. Yeah, and then these fake suns, I believe they're putting out fake stuff out of them suns. It's not just for no light. Why are you gonna say we want to block the sun out, but you're putting up fake suns? It's not like we need no light up there. So what is it doing? And like I said, if the sun is putting out certain consciousness and putting out certain frequencies and light codes and DNA downloads, what are them artificial ones doing? They must be doing the counter. Like, yeah. Turn away also from social media, especially Facebook. Start turning away from it to show them that you don't have all the power that they think they have. You understand? Start going and meeting people and traveling to visit people in person. Share your energy with them in person. Make your aura touch their aura. Hug them. Embrace them. Yeah? Allow energy exchange. Because sex don't always mean intimate. Yeah, sex just means sacred energy exchange. It could be a friendship exchange. You go and see them in person and say, yo, you look good, you look healthy, you put on a bit of size, or you understand, we're supposed to have that interaction. Yeah, but we replace that with this social media bullshit and think that we don't have to visit no one because you can just drop them a text or give them a video call. It's not the same. Have an energy trade-off where and when you can. Plan it. Say, I'm going to take a day off to go and see such and such. Yeah. Work on being a better friend, a better father, a better son or daughter, a better wife, a better spouse. Do you understand? Work on being a better team player and being a better community person. You understand? Work on these things, man, because you're going to need it. It's like currency. People will remember and people will gravitate towards that shit. Your soul family will find you. Yeah. Come together as people. Encourage coming together, man. Put events on that encourage us to come together, even if it's a barbecue, and invite people that you know is that you suspect is he know what go on. Let me invite this and this people from the street to come around. Like, start doing it, because we've been told to, oh, yours and mine, and there's this gap, and we don't understand this togetherness shit, and how we're gonna need each other, man, and we're gonna need different minds in this planning and plotting and strategizing. Come together as couples, families, communities, yeah, and lead by example. Be the change that you want to see in yourself first. Don't look for it out there. Like, establish it in yourself first. Put that change in yourself, in your mentality and your belief in that shit. You understand? Placebo yourself. Yeah. Because what we've seen, the demiurge tried to mandate masks, and now they've been unmasked. That's what's happened. They tried to mandate masks, and now all of this shit's been unmasked. Yeah? It's unmasked, man. All of the fucking shit's out. Yeah? There's nobody can say they didn't know. If the ignorance right now is a choice. We're in the age of information for real. That 20th century wasn't no age of information. That was the age of misinformation. They're telling us about, oh, the 20th century is the age of information because we had all of these computers and fuck off. That's just misinformation. We're in the age of information now. The information is coming through now. That's why they're trying to block it out. Bill Gates and them Telogia niggas trying to block it out, block out the sun. Yeah, we are equipped with the technology of consciousness. Yeah, use it. Yeah, use it. Yeah, this is the technology of consciousness, which no AI or singularity will ever compare to. There will never be a comparison to this technology of consciousness. They can't predict it. They can't make models on it. They can't bring in a think tank. None of that shit. Yeah, this shit's a step ahead, or maybe 10 steps ahead of them. But we need to plug into it, all 100% of it, or as much of the percent as we can, and stop fucking with this 10% of business, this religious bullshit, this 3D shit. Yeah, guys, I'm gonna read some of your comments to see if there's anything I can elaborate on, because I'm done. I know I was a bit long-winded, but I thought I'm gonna do that shit. I'm gonna put out some notes and speak. Shout out to Celestial Samurai. I'm sorry, guys, that you couldn't hear me in the start with the music was a little too loud. Yeah. Thanks for telling me. Shout out to Talisha. Yes, now we can hear you. Music still too loud. Okay, better. Greetings, brother. The music is still too loud. Greetings, brother, and everyone. Yeah. Bless to Hub site. Yeah. Shit gonna be wild. Yeah, it's gonna be crazy. Peace to Fatu Waters. Is that how you say it? Waters with two T's or Waters? No stone will be left unturned. The truth is more disturbing than their lies. Yeah, that part there. The truth is very disturbing. Isn't Trump taking down the so-called deep state? Well, you answer that for yourself based on what I said, Nefimi 24. I've just given you my take on Trump, yeah? I don't I can't see no evidence of Trump taking down anything. So if there's evidence out there that I've missed that shows us red-handed, okay, Trump is going after these people, then I'm willing to have a look at it. But in all the time that Trump's been in office, I ain't seen none of that. And I would have thought that when you're president is when you have the power. So when he was in office was when he had his chance to make a difference. I can't see how he can make more of a difference now he's not the president than he could have when he was the president. He should have done all of that shit. Do you understand? He shouldn't be out here now he's not the president and people are still talking about he's doing this and that. There's no evidence for it. That's like a belief, like a Trump religion. Do you get me? So unless I can see some evidence, yeah, I'm willing to say I was wrong. Dan, look, this says Trump is fucking definitely, but I'm not falling for the BS. So if people want to believe, based on no evidence, that years after Trump's been ousted, he weren't even able to have a second term. He came out in one term, yeah, so he couldn't even hold his seat, but he's ridding the world of pedos and that. Nah, I'm not buying it. Just don't work for me, man. You understand? We must continue to spread awareness, respect, all illusion, self-growth and sharing, hub H. Yeah, man. You got to understand politics was never designed for us to have an opposition. Like, politics, European Western politics, like I said with the Janus, with the two-headed symbol, which represents New Year's Day. When we celebrate New Year's Day, we're celebrating this ritual of Janus. That's why they call it January. You understand? But they control both sides. You understand? So that when they're ruling, yeah, this side now, you act like an opposition, but you're not opposition. They're all on the same side. So if we ever come out of power, we've give you the illusion of choice. Now these guys are coming in. But these guys are these guys. This wing and this wing is controlling the same bird. It was never set up so that, okay, this you opposition, when the people get pissed, that shit was ruled out. Yeah? And that's why things like the American Constitution was set up. So that shit couldn't happen. But when they turned America into a corporation and started bringing in all these acts and amendments where they're changing shit and amendments and taking shit out, they really want to do away with that constitution so they can just run this one party system where we think we've got a choice between Republicans and Democrats. The people at the top, they cross over. Like Tony Blair, before he came to Labour and made New Labour, he was a conservative. So it's like they sent him over there. Okay, we're going to lose power, you know. So listen, you fucking jump ship and we'll set you up over there. Yeah. So that when we lose power over here, you come in over there. We're going to call it New Labour. Like, this is what's going on with the politics. It's not set up for Trump. And they're just going to let him come in. And he just accidentally got in. And he's on the people's side. And the people, nah. And until we understand this and stop looking for a hero other than our collective self, us the people, in the on the ground, boots on the ground people, in your community people, not these bloodline families, man. Trump's from the Sinclairs and shit, man. These are billionaire peoples from the sink. They don't care about us. They're not in touch with society and what we have to go through to have food on our table and all of that shit. They would not even survive in our life, in our normal life. If you took Trump's attributes off him and set him up just like the average one of me and you and told him, okay, you fucking get on in the world, I bet you that he couldn't hold down a job or none of that shit. He couldn't make it like one of us. All of them people there are actors, man. And if you really believe that these actor people who have never been in mine or your situation, on the, you understand, bottom level people, yeah, you really think they're gonna give up their aristocracy and the circle that they're in just so they can give you some justice and stuff? Yo, man, that sounds like even more of a conspiracy than aliens or fucking Jesus or whoever else. And that's why I say religion's dangerous, because it's religion that made us willing to believe in all of this bullshit so easy. With Trump's gonna come and rid the world of pedophiles. Hold on, so Trump's Jesus? Because I thought Jesus was supposed to come and do that. I'm not a Christian, but I'm saying most people I'd have thought they say, okay, Jesus is gonna come back and fucking rid the world of all these. You know what I'm saying? People saying Trump's doing it. So hold on, Trump must be the second coming in that. And that's why I'm saying religion's dangerous, man. I don't believe none of that Trump stuff, man. QAnon and all that crap. They're all related. They all trace back to Charlemagne II of what they call the Western Roman Empire. After the Roman Empire fell, it broke into different factions. So you had like the Byzantine Empire, which was like the Roman Empire, but instead of based on slavery and shit, is now based on Christianity, the church. Christianity. Now they can still operate as Rome because Rome wasn't sustainable. They spread themselves so far and wide and needed so much money to run this evil empire that it just fucking imploded. So they said, okay, we'll let it implode and we'll just raise up here again as this, the Byzantine, and then in Germany, we'll just call ourselves the Western Roman Empire under Charlemagne II and shit. You understand? And that extended all the way into Prussia, where it's like the Eastern Bloc, Albania and Romania and Kosovo and all of them places there. That was all like the next part of the Roman Empire. So all of your politicians trace back to two figures. Charlemagne II of France. That was when France was strong. No Vikings even went to try and dare fuck around with France in them times there. We're talking 6th and 7th century AD. 5th, 6th, 7th century AD. Yo, Charlemagne II had France on lockdown. Paris was fucking like how America is in the army now. Charlemagne II, he was a strong dude. He was like Napoleon or Hitler on steroids. Don't get it twisted. So all of these politicians, your Clintons, your Bushes, your Blairs, your fucking Obamas, and a lot of these stars in Hollywood trace back to Charlemagne II. And then you got others who trace back to Vlad the Impaler, who is the real Count Dracula. Bram Stoker got the story of Count Dracula. He never made it up. That's a real story about these bloodsuckers. They can't go in the sun and they need your fucking vitamin D and shit from your blood. You understand? Because you can go in the sun, so they need to drink your blood. They're hemophiliacs. So you got the Queen and them, Prince Charles and them same hemophiliacs who, if you cut them, they're healed. They don't heal. Do you understand? Their blood don't clot. That's what you call a Dracula, or a dragon, or a serpent, and they call it today hemophilia. All the people who have them reptilian genes, you suffer from what's called hemophilia. So you see, like the Queen, she have to carry around a little box. Anywhere she goes, they've got a little box with her. That box has got blood in it. So if she ever gets cut or anything when she's in public or whatever, they can fucking use that blood, because they're gonna have to rush her to hospital if a haemophiliac gets cut, because they're just gonna bleed out. You understand? So you have to have a supply of blood with them everywhere that they go. It's a mad thing. That's Dracula. So that traces back to a figure called Vlad the Impaler. They've made a movie in Hollywood about it called Dracula Untold, and they've romanticized the whole story, where they give you this Vlad the Impaler, and the only reason he turned Dracula is because them fucking Ottoman Turk Muslims, yeah, it was in that time, yeah, when the Ottoman Turks, they were the ruling power in that region, and they went to Vlad, his little kingdom, I'm sure it's one of them Eastern Bloc countries, and they want to take over your country and run your economy and all that bully boy shit. So they had been doing that to his dad and that. So in the film, they try and use that as an excuse and say, oh, he only took that vampire shit because they killed his wife. Then Muslims don't made his wife die and shit. This nigga got vexed and let the vampire bite him in it, so he could use the powers to kill up these Muslims and shit. But the real story is they really called themselves the son of the dragon, the son of the devil, or the son of the Draco, the reptilian. And they were reptilian bloodlines, and these are real historical figures. And people like the Bushes and the Prince Charles and them are directly related to Vlad the Impaler. People like the one that just died, Colin Powell, he was related to the Bushes, not just Obama. Yeah, Condoleezza Rice. So it doesn't matter if they got black skin or black faces. These motherfuckers are bred. Yeah, they use Muzungu women and lay them down with fucking black men so they can put black skin on these motherfuckers too. They're in all cultures. You got African leaders that are a part of this shit. They're some of the worst devils. And the black nobility who never show their face, most of them are black people. Don't get it twisted. Why they keep calling it black boule and black nobility and all of that shit. I keep telling people that. These white people in public, they're just the mouthpieces. The Rothschilds and the Rockefellers and the Bushes and they're just mouthpieces, man. The real players behind the scene, I guarantee you they look like me and you. So they trace all of them politicians, they have what's called a blue blood Bible, where they have a Bible that lists all of their bloodlines from the 11 tribes of Canaan and shows them which one has the bluest blood. So when they present their family chart, they pick the next president based on who's got the bluer blood, who's more related to Charlemagne or Vlad the Impaler, who's got the most reptilian genes. It happened with Al Gore and George Bush when George Bush stole the fucking election because he lost and Al Gore won. But because, sorry, not Al Gore, who was it? It's either Gore or Kerry, John Kerry or Al Gore. But they lost because they had, their blood wasn't blue enough. So they couldn't be. Even though they would have made a good president, they never had enough blue blood. So I was telling white boys about this in college down at St. Margaret's when I was doing the access course. And they was like, you're having a laugh. You're taking it too far. And this is in journalism class because I used to study journalism, you understand, under Simon Crane. And that teacher used to tell me, yo, you need to be a journalist. And I used to tell him, yo, hell no, I don't want no part of no journalism. I'm doing this so I can get to uni to do my fucking film, TV, and philosophy. I got to do this to get there. But he was trying to convince me to do it full time. He's like, yo, I've never seen no one as good as this at you. And rare. I was like, nah, I don't want to do that shit. So me and him became like, me and him would build on all types of shit. Even Illuminati and shit, man. Yeah. Um, but yeah, they got a blue blood Bible. All of them trace back to them two figures, Charlemagne II of France and Vlad the Impaler. I can't remember exactly which of them Eastern Bloc countries he comes from. Yeah, but if you watch that movie, if you haven't watched it already, Dracula Untold, it's based on a true story. So even though the stories are romanticized and shit, yeah, the basics of it is based on real fucking events. Do you understand what I'm saying? And most of your politicians and your people like Brad Pitt, Angelina Jolie, Jennifer Aniston, there's a few of them that trace back to that fucking blood on a real thing. Who else? The one that's been Tom Hanks, all them people there come from that fucking blood there. You understand? Yeah, the highest reptilians, when we did that breakdown on the demiurge, the reptilians and that, the highest reptilians, they don't feed on blood. The highest demons, parasitic beings, insectoids and that, they feed on energy from the fourth dimension. You understand? And they vamp down on energy, and how they do it en masse is music concerts, sports venues, like boxing matches, football matches, especially the big ones. Yeah, religious festivals like Eid, Christmas, Easter, Muslim Hajj, Hindu Diwali. Like they generate a whole bunch of fucking shit from that, and war, all the torture and panic and rape and kidnap and the whole shit, man. They're energy vampires, but also I know you could mean just people in general. Yeah, because energy vampires is from bottom level, face to face in society with certain people around you that will vamp your energy, all the way up to archons in the fourth dimension, vamping us through what I just said. Do you know what I'm saying? So there's so many layers. There's so much layers to the stuff, and like you said, it's all related, man. It's all related. But that's what I wanted to say. Don't allow no one to just spook you out and get you into that fear thing, man. Because if you're in fear, you're either projecting yourself into the future or sticking yourself in some kind of past. Because the now doesn't fear. When you're present, you won't fear. Do you understand? You'll know you're present, and this is a gift for you to always be a step ahead, because people always have to come back to the present because they're caught up in the now. They're projecting themselves all the time to now, and people are stuck in the past comparing shit. Yeah, so they miss the whole. You're a step ahead being in the now, because you don't have to get back to nowhere. You can project yourself into the past or the present, into the past or the future from here. You're already here. Do you understand? But somebody who's always living in the past or the future, they're always anxious. They can go into that panic and that fear and that anxiety and the fucking. Do you understand? Because it's always the what if. But if you're in the now and you're present, you'll know what you got to do. You'll know that you how to utilize your time better and better and tap into the magic of the moment, because the magic is definitely in the moment. It's not in the fucking past or the future when we get to 5D or when we get to new earth, when this, when that. Do you understand? It's about now. What are we going to do now to initiate a certain type of thinking that's going to break the cycle, because we keep doing the same thing and expecting different results, which is insanity. Yeah, especially at this point when everything, the rules, the goalposts, everything's fucking changed. But we're still trying to operate in the same paradigm. Like, what the fuck kind of thinking is that? Like, we really got to get with it. And, yo, I don't know how. That's why I keep coming to you guys on the lives like this. Because I've tried to get to people in my community. I've tried to speak to various different people that I've grew up with. People, that none of them, they're not on it. Like, I kid you not. Other than my brother with his horses, I can't name a single person out here. And I'm not trying to disrespect nobody who comes from my area. Yeah, that I can say, you know what, they're doing a lot to inspire me to want to go and, yo, how can I get involved with what you're doing? Yeah, maybe I'm blowing my own trumpet. Maybe I don't inspire people. Maybe what I've done, I'm overestimating it. I'm like, bastard, I wrote books for people to expose this whole shit before Corona. We been doing this shit, and when we first published in 2018, I felt like I was alone in the wilderness. No one didn't give a shit. Yeah, so for a whole year, I just had a box of books. No one cared. Do you understand? I had a few loyal people who came to my book launch. Do you understand? And I just made the most out of selling my own books. But it wasn't until George Floyd, yeah, and I went down and made a speech, and people was like, yo, who are you? Yeah, and in that speech, I had my book with me. And I was like, yo, when did you write this? The fucking radio and shit. Some nigga from the radio was there. So he kind of plugged me. Yeah, but before that, yo, no one didn't give a shit. Niggas is looking at me like, why the hell you wrote a book about Egypt and Illuminatis and all that types of shit? Like, you on some crazy shit. Why you ain't write about rap or how you went to jail or some shit like that? That's the kind of attitude I got. Yeah. So it's definitely a time to pool your resources, man, and look at the people around you, the influences that you have in your existence, and separate the wheat from the chaff, man. And look at the people who are giving you power, not the people who are empowering themselves and flaunting themselves and blowing their trumpet and showing you what they buy, what they bought, or what car they drive, or none of that shit. Yeah, fuck with the people who, when you go away from this, you feel like, bastard, I took something away. I feel like I feel I feel a bit better about this shit. You understand? I know what I'm couple things I'm gonna do to make myself feel even better from here. Like Give yourself to them people and help them, because a lot of the time you'll find, I bet you, a pattern that them people are the ones who don't got no following, whose social media won't let them grow. Like, because they gonna give you too much, yeah, and they can't be giving everybody too much like that, because then it's not worth it, yeah. The whole censoring, the whole shadow banning thing is a reason, because you're, like I said, they can't control the awakening. So there's certain characters that they just can't fucking afford. Yo, they looking, they know who the chosen ones are. Put it that way. They know who's the chosen ones and who's the awakened ones and what they're capable of and how they need to fucking deal with them. And there's a few times that if you were paying attention, social media was kind of overhauled. It was like they revamped it, like the Facebook, the Instagram, the YouTube. Like if you go back to the beginning, like they changed a set of shit at one point, and then a further way down the line, some next shit changed, and then a further way down the line, some next shit changed, until it comes to the point that now they can monitor people and swerve traffic and all types of shit. But at the same time, on the other side of the coin, certain people are being protected. You understand? Because man like me having a massive following, I kid you not, they would not let me sit here. The way they go on about censoring my page now without a following. If I had a following, they'll probably fucking turn up at my yard. So yo, we need to go and shoot that dude. You understand? But I'm gonna go anyway. I've been on here nearly 3 fucking hours, bastard. And my brother just gave me a call, so it might be an emergency. I just hung up. But yeah, I'm gonna end the transmission there and say, as I always say, I love you guys all. But digest that, man, because it weren't exactly like I had a proper look. It's ringing again, man. All right, it's ringing again. I'm a ghost. Yo, shout out to everybody who joined in. Yeah, we love you all. Peace, peace.